Luxury jumps on a Boeing jet, leaves behind a family, no regrets. He's got a birthday on your old Shanghai. Eyes are on Mrs. Lai, the reason why. While in Brisbane, the tears roll strong. Chinese whispers called him to Hong Kong. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave behind the begging for the Luxy show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Archie's chasing dreams in the mystic land. Mrs. Lai brings coffee to his hand. Family's calls echo on the phone. He's miles away, lost, but he's not alone. In old Shenzhen's glow, he likes to stray. With Mrs. Lai, they bonk till the light of day. Pack up your bags and off you go. He's not showing up to New York, what show? Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Though the tears roll down in Brisbane town, Archie's 3-inch dick flops all around. Celebrations in the neon night, forgetting home, he's chasing new Asian delight. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave the begging for the beach ball show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Weeks later, Archie leaves his playground. Comes back home, he's Brisbane bound. Comes up with stories that he's going bust. Has to fool the punters to gain their trust. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave the begging for the beach ball show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Archie spent the punter's money, he's in a fix. Spins a story that he can't eat bricks. All the lonely simps believe his scam. Grab all their cash, shove it in his hand. Pack up your bags and off you go. He didn't bother with the New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Comes on streams, he cries poor again. His mate Tan gives him $5 grand, maybe 10. Archie thinks he's a big swing dick, cause the punters fall for his gypsy shtick. Pack up your bags and off you go. Didn't bother with the New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the ARCHIELUXURY live stream and the ARCHIELUXURY channel. We are broadcasting live on two channels, the ARCHIELUXURY live stream channel, as well as the ARCHIELUXURY channel. So thanks for joining us on whatever channel you are viewing this content on. I'm your host for now, Patel Philippe. Archie should be here hopefully in about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. We'll get some watch talk in before Archie arrives, before the shit show starts, the Sweet JoJo's variety show, as we call it. But look, we'll say hi to everybody who's joined us early in the chat. And today we're going to be doing a couple different topics. I got a couple of auctions, auctions that are going on right now, as well as upcoming between Phillips and Sotheby's. Want to talk Omega, Speedmaster, Man on the fucking Moon versus the Rolex Daytona, and any other topics that you guys want to talk about, watch related. Feel free to type it in the chat, send it as a super chat, whatever you guys want to do. We're here to talk some watches. We're here to have some fun with the punters. First in the chat is my good friend, Mr. Rick Foss, who says, this was kind of early. Probably our friend Tan doing a show before the show. That's absolutely right, Rick Foss. I mean, look, I watched the Luxy show this morning. I don't even think they talked about a watch on that show. And Lux was talking on that show saying, this is a watch channel. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I mean, y'all motherfuckers didn't even talk about a single watch on the show. So how is this a watch channel? So look, I'm trying to bring the watch talk back to the Archieverse. I like watch talk, as you guys know. But I appreciate you checking us out, Rick Foss. We got JD MTL joining us. Let's go. Nice to see you, JD MTL. We got Patek Chris. Hey, fuckers. We got Neil in Thailand, probably looking for Archie. Greetings and salutations to Neil in Thailand. We got Hello Seattle, says hair by crack cocaine. That is quite accurate. We got Frank V. Mrs. Lai brings coffee to his hand. Oh, yeah, la 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 Fikers. It's funny, Frank V. A lot of folks love that song because I kind of watch. Archie plays it as the outro. So let's say he's got 100 viewers on the live stream channel at the time. He'll drop to like maybe 80 viewers, 70 viewers. So I think the vast majority of the people watching like that intro / outro, but there is a pretty large and growing contingent of folks that aren't that interested in AC3's his intros and outros. But yeah, I'm a fan of it. I like it, but I'm not. I don't think I speak for everybody. We got Hippo Lord joining us. Upvote, thank you, Hippo Lord. We got Zeman Khan joining us. Upvote, thank you so much, Zeman Khan. We got the Time Lord, the Doctor himself in the house. Says hi. We got Hal 9900. Another Butch Queen show from Archie and his nobody lame friends with funny nicknames. There you go. We got P Sir. What I don't understand is how Archie is a much pioneered watch review channels and is still last in line. He's been at 70K subs for years, LOL, but I've been watching him since I was in high school. Yeah, you know what, Archie Archie is very much stuck in his ways. He got popular. He went viral by accident. Sir, I guess her name is P Sir. So, he never really had a strategy. He just kind of got viral by accident, and he never really was about bringing the most cutting edge content. Now, one thing Archie does bring is a lot of experience in the watch industry, a lot of watch knowledge. And in a very funny, it's a satire watch channel, right? Like we bring, we bring a bit of fun to a hobby that can get very boring very fucking quick, right? I mean, fuck, I was trying to understand why people liked him, right? So I was watching a little bit of it yesterday after he had finished, and it was just it's a YouTuber that literally knows nothing about watches, that didn't even know he had a certain watchmaker on his show. And it's just you could just see that he's not like I really don't understand how 50, 60, 70 people watch that show because there's really no substance. But when it comes to Archie Piecer, he's got, even though it's a bit harder to get it out of him these days, but he does have, a pretty deep breadth of knowledge in watches. And, it's always fun for me to have a conversation with him, about, him and I have very similar, we have very similar interests in watches and whatnot. But yeah, look, it's always good to have old big boy there. We got Roy joining me. How you doing, Roy?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just saying hello to everybody who's joined us, and I'm going to get into my first topic, so I appreciate you joining me. We've got Lee Dobbo saying what's up. Hal 9900 intro is the best for sure. He likes it. Lee Dobbo likes the song. The Mac Geek says hello. We got MCM who's looking forward seeing a KV and LV release tomorrow. All right. And we got Hal 9900 come back in an hour for Archie 100%. So Roy, it's Piecer was kind of asking this question. I thought this was pretty funny. Just how Archie never really failure to launch, right? He got viral by mistake or by accident, and I think folks think that he works on his channel. His shtick is very funny, but I don't think I've ever seen him work on his channel or try to improve his videos. That's for sure.
No, I mean he's got what he likes to do, and he's willing to do that. He's not interested in doing anything else. I mean, in a way, I get why people, that have seen Archie from the very beginning, it's kind of a shame in a respect because with, personality-wise, being larger than life and everything, the opportunity was there to really translate that into something, but, it's one of those things. You can't drag it out of them. I think back to me getting into watches in 2009, and about a year after I got my first nice watch on YouTube, it was him, and that was it. There was nobody else.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say with AC3's kind of rise to fame and how it's a bit of a shame, right? I just can't see him, Roy, doing. Let's say he was at 1 million subs, right, and he's raking in the dough. He probably has to have a production team at the top. I really can't see him being professional about it. I think he would still show up 15 minutes late for his live stream, no topics, half dressed. I don't look, he's always been for those that have been following the channel for a long time, he's always been a niche channel. He was never a mainstream channel. Most people don't like him. He's banned on pretty much every forum that's out there. But there was a group of people that really enjoyed his shtick, that enjoyed, they take, it's hobby can be boring, right, Roy? You can only talk about Datejust for how many fucking hours, right? Before it just
And unless you're going to do monotonous list videos, updating these, every 3, maybe 4 years for particular types of watches, brands, etc., you're not going to generate the views. And I can see why, from like a creative standpoint, that would be incredibly boring. It's just work at that point.
I would agree. Look, I don't mind people that do kind of boring content, that do like, just the watch finder type stuff, or even, folks that don't. I mean, I like Tim Mossell's stuff, but some people find Tim Mossell a little boring. I don't know.
He's a sales guy. I mean, he does a great job of explaining things and whatnot, but you got to keep that in mind. There's a reason why he's doing these shows. It's what pays his salary is not ad revenue. It's presenting the watches so that people that go to the 1916 company and buy from them.
Exactly, right. I mean, I got nothing against those guys, right? Like, they're just trying to earn an honest living, whether it or just trying to build a channel, in a very PG way. They just want to show a watch and a macro view of it and just talk about the history. Oh, that's okay, right? I think what bothers me sometimes, Roy, is the grifters that are out there. Those that really know nothing.
No, I get what you're saying. One guy that I think does really great video work and like great production value, and likes the watches, for instance, it does go a little bit more mainstream, a little bit more into the type of video that does well on YouTube is ID Guy.
Yeah, and look, ID Guy is a fan of this channel. I mean, I met ID Guy from our chat, like, so I like for those that are new to the channel or are new to the Archieverse. I mean, Archie is known by literally every big YouTuber out there, including some of our favorites, like ID Guy. He's a great guy. I think his channel does really well. I think his content is very unique, Roy. And I love his perspective, right? As an industrial designer, I think it brings a really good perspective to, because most people, Roy, they're not into movements. They're not into finishing. They say, I just like the aesthetics of the watch, right? That's kind of ID Guy's shtick is really looking at the design from an aesthetic perspective and how could he improve it, or how would he improve it, or whether it's just fine in and of itself, right? So that's why I think his channel is very popular, because it appeals to, I think, a broad spectrum of watch collectors that aren't just, they don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got great production value. I mean, obviously he has to reuse stock video quite a bit because he doesn't have access to a lot of these things because he's not part of like, say, traditional journalism in like Hodinkee and Monochrome and some of these places that might get things in for review. But everything has a nice high production value. It all looks slick. It comes across extremely well, extremely professionally, and I think he's seen good results with because of that and presenting his perspective.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. I try to, I mean, Archie starts usually around 7 p.m. Eastern. That's about 4 p.m. where Roy is. It can get a bit late. So I was like, what, I'm done work. I could do a bit of watch talk. Obviously, appreciate Roy joining me. And anybody who wants to hop on, everyone's free to, just talk watch. We're just having a hangout here. I do have a couple of topics that we're going to go through, but yeah, man, I appreciate that. Frank V says boring. Buy the fuck. You know what? I'm gonna play that clip for you, Frank V, just because you said buy the fucking Rolex. Let's roll the clip. Let's see classic Archie right here.
Buy the fucking Rolex. Buy the fucking Rolex. Get a bloody Rolex. Rolex. I mean, seriously, you've got to buy the fucking Rolex. Rolex. Buy the fucking Rolex. Rolex.
Rolex, and we got our good friend Mike the Snake joining us. How you doing, Mikey?
Hey, how's it going, Tan?
I'm good. I appreciate you joining me. It was I have a good topic that I'd love to hear your opinion on. So maybe I can get into that.
Sure.
Super quick. Let me share. Let me change the screen here. And nice to see you, Junior Johnson, joining us from Michigan in the chat. All right, so everyone was talking Daytonas the other day. I don't know what show I was watching. Maybe I was watching Lucha Betic Mark's show. Everyone was like going bonkers with the Daytona. I've never been a Daytona guy.
Me either.
Yeah, Mikey, I'm not a huge chronograph guy. I do want a chronograph in my collection. and it's always been the Moonwatch for me.
Same here.
Yeah, it's never been the Daytona. And look, I'll say it here on the stream. Like the Daytona is a superior watch, superior brand. It technically superior in a lot of ways. I think that why I still gravitate to the Moonwatch is, I mean, I think I drink a little bit of the Kool-Aid, Mike. I buy into the history, like the whole, not only story about the going to the moon, but also the Apollo 13 mission.
Yeah, the whole association with space.
Yeah, just the fact that it was a watch that was used for a practical purpose, that is used more than just, hey, I'm going to take it in the pool. Like it was actually used, in space and on many missions and stuff like that. To me, I like that a lot more than having the flex of a Daytona. I don't think most people care about the Daytona's technical aspects of it, but the flex part of it just never appealed to me. I was never a fan of it. Roy, I don't know. I know you've talked about Daytonas in the past. I never knew if it was a watch you liked or if it was you weren't a Daytona.
I'm on it. I like. Well, here's the thing: is whether it's the Mood Watch or whether it's the Daytona, I'm on it. I do like chronographs, but I tend to like twin register dress chronographs, not tri-register, sort of more professional ones.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Because sorry, go ahead, Mikey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think the tri-register ones look better. The dual register ones are usually minus the one in the lower one in the center, and they kind of make it look like two eyeballs or something. They make the dial look funny.
Let me pull up a dual register here.
Fuck.
It's okay, Mike. Take your time. Let me pull up a dual register here. Patek Philippe 5170. Yeah, I mean, Roy, I would agree with you. I like these as well. I thought about it. Do I just get rid of the Moonwatch and go with the Patek chronograph? My issue with the Patek chronograph is I always kind of want the combination of the perpetual calendar and the chronograph. I don't just want the chronograph, So, and Patek Philippe's not really. I mean, they've made chronographs in the past, but it's not really what they're known for.
No, but I mean, I don't know. They came about earlier in Patek's history in regular production, certainly than the 1518 did. So, I mean, it's definitely, I think it's as much a part of the DNA as anything else. I do think it's kind of weird that they had just this huge gap in having a standard chronograph in production. So.
All right, we got a very nice super chat from Frank V. Thank you so much. $5 US. A guy with a killer collection is CS Channel. I don't know who CS Channel is, Frank V. So if you want to type it in the chat, I'll bring it up. What is your thought?
Yeah, I like that. I like that two register better.
Yeah, and this is I'm gonna walk you through what this is, Mikey. What's your thought on the new 5235/50R Patek Philippe? So this is a regulator annual calendar. It's not the first iteration of this, Mike. They had a silver dial, I think, in white gold.
Yeah, that's correct.
Cool piece. It's just, do you like? I mean, Roy, do you like?
So I'm a big fan of the 3448 and 3450. So I really like the case. And
what's the size of it?
I think this is a bigger one, Mikey. Let me just get it.
Is it 40 or bigger?
Yeah, it's 41.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
If you look at it, so these aren't great pictures. When you see this in person, you really need to see how sharp that case is and whatnot to really appreciate it. It's also got the new micro rotor movement, which is really beautiful from an architecture standpoint. And I think one of the reasons why this was the first watch to get it, it had some of the advanced research stuff incorporated into the movement, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember. I had a friend who had one of these. It was always nice.
And I will say, just real quick, the rose versus this gray dial, you have to see it in person. It works really well in person in a way that does not come across in the pictures.
Yeah, honestly, if I wasn't running the stream, Mikey, I actually went to a Patek AD with JJ. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, and he tried this watch on. He really liked this watch. It looked really good on his wrist too. It is a beautiful piece. My only thing that I just don't like is I don't like regulator dials. So this is Mike. You can see the time is kind of split into two sub dials.
Oh, I see. Okay, I understand now. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's it's not like a 3-hander,
well,
you know,
you
or
kind of
even a 2-hander.
well, you see, like, you'll see the seconds, the running seconds. You'll see the hours. You'll see the minutes. Just all in different sub dials or different areas, right? And
Yeah.
in a regulator, interestingly enough, I'll give you some history on this watch. Patek Philippe, I think the silver dial version, Roy, was the most modern new regulator they came out with, but I think that was actually modeled off of a regulator clock that was in Philippe Stern's office, and that was kind of the basis of it. But I just
Yeah.
I never really liked regulators. I like the annual calendar part of it; it's cool. But this watch actually put together, I agree with you. Right, in person is a stunning watch. I think
No,
I
would
did
never
pick
buy
the
it.
What
For
does
your exact
regulator?
reason. I don't like regulators either. They're hard to read.
What
They're
what
just weird.
what consists of a regulator?
Well, you
You
see,
have
Mike.
3 separate dials. So the minutes
Oh,
is
okay.
that
So
big hand that goes around the outside. You have a separate hours dial here, and then you got a separate seconds dial.
they've just broken up the functions, and
That's
so
right.
Correct.
that's what like I can move forward with knowing that that's considered a regulator style.
Correct.
Right.
Like when the what normally would be on the center, all 3 hands are broken apart. Each one is
Yep.
its own separate thing.
Right, Mike. So you can see here it's the hours are 10. You've got the minutes at 11, and then you got your running seconds here with
Yeah.
you have your day, your month, your day. It's an annual calendar regulator where it's like Roy said, it's broken up into 3 different
Yeah.
areas on the dial.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I just wanted to I wanted to just get that clarified. Thank you.
No, it's funny because I love this case design so much, and I love that movement. Like I can overlook the monocle aspect of the inline perpetual and go, okay, I would buy that in a heartbeat, but I just can't do the regulator.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna show you this. So the inline, this is the one Patek Chris is talking about. I call this the unibrow.
Yeah.
It just you just can't unsee it. But Patek Chris is right. The movement's the same as you can see here on the unibrow. I'm not a fan of this layout. I've tried this watch on. It actually fits pretty nice. I don't know. I can't do that.
I love the hands. I love the indices. I appreciate the technical aspect of doing the inline, and I don't like it aesthetically as much as a traditional either aperture perpetual calendar or one with the separate subdials. But just overall, like I could forgive that and love, because I love everything else about the watch so much.
All right, we got a bit of trolling here from Frank V. Horological genius of Mike the Snake. 41, cool, very cool. Now look, I'll say this about watches, right? Like these aren't made for fucking PhDs in horology. As much as Higgy tries to tell you that, as much as Higgy tries to tell you that you have to have a PhD in horology, which I know that guy doesn't.
Yeah.
These are made for the general public. They're made. They're jewelry. They're made as as art pieces to be appreciated. You don't need to be a fucking rocket scientist to understand if the watch looks good or
No,
not.
and I only asked about the size because I can like a watch even if it's smaller. I asked size wise to see if it's a possible consideration for me.
Yeah. Well, Mike,
because
another
40
thing, these have long lugs. It will wear bigger. It would work better for you than you might think based on the number.
Okay, very cool. But yeah, 40 is kind of like my minimum size for my personal wrist, and so that's the only reason I ask. Is I'm not asking for any technical reasons. There's lots of 38s and 37s that I like the aesthetics of, and I think they're beautiful and they're works of art. But I would never even consider one because it's just too small. It's just too small for me.
Yeah, and look, I always that's my mantra, Mike. When I look at watch collecting or watch, just looking at watches and trying to appreciate watches, like you don't need to know every single fucking detail. Archie doesn't get it all right. Higgy doesn't get it all right. I don't get it all right. Roy doesn't get it all right. Yeah,
I definitely don't get it all right.
The point is that,
and let's not pretend that the people that are doing these videos where they do get it all right, that they don't have a script and maybe look for some cuts in it and stuff.
Yeah, crib notes.
We got Tom Hudson joining us from the ship. What's going on, Tom? Nice to see you, sir. Frank V, $5 US. The regulator is so the minute and hour hand does not overlap for watchmakers and not to get confused. When we look at like, you know, when I look at like high-end watches, Mike, like you can look at a watch and say, I don't fucking like that. That's not for me. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be appreciated. Like the watchmakers, they're not making it for you to understand every single fucking, technical aspect of the watch. Some people like that. Some people really enjoy learning about that. But I don't say for the majority of people that that's really how the brands are trying to pitch those watches. They're trying to pitch it on aesthetics. So there's nothing wrong with the...
I mean, some have special surprises in them, or need a pin to push certain recessed buttons to actuate different functions on them, and and then so they need some explaining. There's some question marks when you look at them, and then there's others that are just plain Jane, just spelled out right there in front of you. You recognize everything about it, right?
Look at even aesthetics, Mike. So I just pulled up this, this new, Mark III from 1971 Omega Speedmaster, and right away I knew it's in the 70s because obviously I can see 1971, but it reminds me of remember the Seiko UFO, Mike? I don't know if you've seen one. Yeah.
Is this one asymmetrical? Is it just the angle that the picture's being taken? See the way the case is all dipped down low on the bottom?
I believe it is symmetrical top to bottom. I think if you look, it looks like the dial is kind of canted in the picture. These are, I don't know.
Okay.
I think that the Mark II was a good balance on this tonneau design. When you start getting Mark III, Mark IV, I think that they lost the plot a bit.
I'm gonna pull up the Seiko UFO here from Mikey.
I'm not familiar with the Seiko UFO. I have a Pogue.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Mikey, this is from 71 as well. I have on the screen the Seiko UFO. Just all I was saying was it just reminds me of that 70s era, the design, and sometimes you just want to wear I used to have a Pogue, Mike. I had the true Pogue, actually.
Yeah, gold dial.
Yeah. And it was a great watch, and I'd always wear that watch and get a really, 70s type vibe from it, and I enjoyed it because of that. Not all of my watches are like that. I put the thumbnail today as my old 5711, which has that 1976 appeal, I guess you could say. But I always thought that when we're talking about design, we're talking about how watches aren't just about movement finishing and all this other shit that fuckers try to tell you about. Just looking at design, right?
Yeah, 70s, I like it or I don't.
I love 70s design. It's not for everybody. I don't know if Roy, if you would wear one of these.
I have a Seamaster, the new production that they did back in 2011. I have the Bullhead, so I like 70s design.
Bullhead's cool, man. Bullhead's cool.
Cool.
I'm just going through the couple of different Speedmasters that Omega has on their website. But all different kinds, all different watches, different strokes for different folks here. I always thought these were really, really fun watches. And for me, Speedmaster has always been probably the chronograph that I'd go for. Probably first and always. I'm not a Daytona fan. I tried, I know there's a lot of Daytona fans out there, and every Daytona fan, Roy and Mike, whenever I tell them I like the Speedmaster more, they keep trying to tell me how superior the Daytona is. And it's never really in question. I never really question that the Daytona is a superior watch in almost every aspect, but I would say the aspect that means the most to me is history. It's the stories. I guess I drank the Kool-Aid, right? A bit of that marketing, but I like it. I just like that idea of it.
And not too many watches have such a deep history in anything other than watches or watchmaking. The Speedmaster's been, has one of the deepest histories, having gone to space and being, given to astronauts and, being the main space watch for a while. I know they went on to use a number of space watches after that. I think Bulova was one, and but yeah, and, the history of the moon watch, or even just the space watch, first in space. The the Kool-Aid, as you call it. You know, I buy into that like completely. I'm with you, 100%. It's got to be Heselite. It's got to be a Moonwatch.
Well, I always
That's-
said it. I said, why do you think that book, A Man and His Watch, is so popular? Why does everybody have that book? You know, and all that book is stories. You know, it's a story about a man and his watch, and it's multiple stories collected that way, right? That means,
Yeah, and
go ahead, Ray.
I was just gonna say is yeah, I mean a lot of us, buying these things for ourselves is we're constructing a narrative in our head to justify why we're spending all this money on one of these things.
It's
So
funny. Yeah, it's just so funny because,
yeah,
like Mikey, like if you think about it, these are obsolete. You know, they're obsolete tools. Like we have way better ways to tell the time. We may not have better ways to wear jewelry as men, I guess, in that sense. So if that's why you buy these watches, I mean, that's not really going to matter to you. But yeah, it's just to me, it's fascinating how we convince ourselves of why we should buy something that's so obsolete and for so much money, guys. Like, is ain't
yeah,
fucking
totally.
these aren't cheap, right? So,
I mean, you go into it knowing that it's not accurate. You know, you might luck out and get one that's really close, but nothing's ever going to approach quartz accuracy, and so even the nicest of the nicest mechanical watch you buy is not going to be accurate. So accuracy can't really be part of your um, part of the equation when buying a mechanical old school watch.
yeah, I think someone asked that question yesterday around Rolex trying to catch up to Omega's 0+2 accuracy. I mean, at what point, like, and Archie kind of said it himself. He's like, does anybody really care? Like, is that why you buy a Rolex? Is because -2+2 superlative? Like, it's good to have. It's great that the watch will be very accurate, but I think people would still buy Rolexes if they were just in cost spec. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah. Now I care when they're 1 or 2 minutes fast or slow a day. If they're a few seconds, a couple of seconds, coupled to a few seconds fast or slow a day, I don't mind. They're all going to be off a tiny bit, but when they start to get really off, like Seiko, even on their brochure says accurate within 30 seconds, and I'm like 30. Holy shit! Like that's a lot of leeway there for you to fucking.
Oh, Mike, you're absolutely right. Like they don't care. Like if you're running plus fucking 30, they're gonna be like, yeah, it's within spec.
They'll still hand it back to you and say it's fucking perfect.
we got some really good questions here from Angie. First question is thoughts on the new Omega first Omega in space. Look, this watch has still got a lot of interest. Surprisingly to me, even. I thought this watch was going to get forgotten. I still think it's going to get forgotten at some point. Nobody, in my opinion, no one cared about the original or the previous first Omega in space. And who cares about the first watch of a brand in space? It's not the Moon watch. I think we're a bit desensitized to Fotina. I do like the dial, like the blue-gray dial. I think that's cool. But overall, to me, it's a nice looking watch. But it's kind of like the No Time to Die. Right, it was very popular when it was popular, but then I haven't heard anybody talk about the No Time to Die recently, Mike, at all.
Is that that's the Seamaster?
That's right.
Yeah.
Bond one, yeah.
It was popular when it first came out because it came out like in conjunction with a movie, and it was hot for a moment, but then it just fell into the sea of Seamasters that are available. Fairly shortly afterwards, and now it's not that big of a deal.
We got another great question.
I also
go ahead.
I was say real quick, I think that part of it with Omega and holding the public's interest on these watches, we have to remember that those of us that are consuming watch media on the internet and stuff, we are outliers. And something like this that just is a really solid design and looks great in the case. A normal person is going to come in, and I think I could see it doing well sales wise for them. And then in line with trying to keep the narrative online, if these watches are available and all the people that are chattering on the forums that, oh, I like it, blah, 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 they have the opportunity to buy it. And I think there's a little bit of a continued interest in something when there's a shortage and people are pursuing it. So I think it warps our perception a bit. And I'd really love to know the sales numbers behind some of these things, but we'll never get that.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was at the Omega boutique, I asked for this watch, and it was, we don't have it today, but we can get it for you. It's not like, even in their mind, they were trying to push scarcity. They're just like, we just don't have one right now, but we can absolutely get one for you. Meaning, it's going to be relatively available. And I think it's going to become another no time. A watch that people like, but it's just going to get forgotten, in my opinion.
Yeah, it happened with the Dark Side, the original Dark Side. That was scarce at first, and everybody that want one got it, and then it faded.
Yeah, Bear hates that. Well, it doesn't hate that watch, but he did a whole segment on the sides of the moon, and he came out saying the gray side of the moon was his favorite. So I always just call him out on that. We have a great question from Angie. Top 3 watch. I'm gonna ask this to you guys first. Top 3 watches hyped off their history. Mike the Snake, Roy. What are some watches that are hyped off their history?
And number one has to be the Moonwatch. There's no watch whose history is brought up more than the Omega Speedmaster Professional.
Yeah, the Monaco
Jaguar Monaco, okay.
would be another one. I have to rack my brain. I mean, the Pogue, if it has a little bit of space history, that's another one that just kind of has a little more history to it. Let me think.
What do you guys think of the Royal Oak?
I would go with either of Genta's 2 designs for AP and Patek. The story of it being.
Tell me the Royal Oak story.
All this other unverifiable stuff. So,
yeah, Mike,
what is the Royal Oak story? I'd like to hear it.
I can give it to you, no problem. Early 1970s, right? So Royal Oak comes out in 1972, Mike. Same year as Archie's born, by the way. That's how you'll always remember the Royal Oak. Is ARCHIELUXURY 72? The Royal Oak was made. It was basically released in 72.
Okay.
So AP prior to that was pretty much a precious metal dress watch company. They were known for, they did complications. They were well known for their perpetual calendar, and they were looking to grow their sales. So what they did was they contacted distributors, and one distributor that they were looking to work with to expand their market was basically asking them to make a steel sports watch. It wasn't AP's idea. This didn't come from AP. That actually came from a distributor that wanted that watch and was going to sell their other pieces. So AP then obviously goes to Gerald Genta. Obviously, there's speculation on the story of how long it took him. The story is he sketched it overnight or on a napkin, and it was done very quickly. AP then obviously produces this watch. And part of the story, Mike, is when they released it at Baselworld, they say that people were coming to their booth, like congratulating them on how innovative the watch was. But then, walking away from the booth, basically saying AP is going to be out of business in 6 months. Because in 1972, you're coming out with this very expensive steel sports watch where, the 70s, Mike, from the 60s to the 70s, you're talking like tool watch era, right? They're not expensive. Not that expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as much as a gold watch would be.
Steel watch back in 72, at the prices that AP was asking for them back then, people were probably laughing at them, at first.
So it's
my understanding is that these didn't pick up in popularity until they started offering yellow gold ones into the Mediterranean market.
You know what's funny, Roy? The AP disputes. If you ever I always recommend people go to AP's website. They have a section on their history. It's very long. AP disputes that their Royal Oak wasn't a success out the gate. They say it was pretty much sold out right from when it came out because they say that they created the ladies version, all these other versions.
Trust me, bro, from AP.
Look, that's what they're trying to tell the story of. It doesn't change the fact that Mike, you always hear this, the Gerald Genta design. Like, this watch is famous, Mike, because it literally, it was a watch that it was the first real ultra luxury sports watch that was basically sold at the price of a precious metal watch, but it was in steel, and it created this whole genre. You can say of really look how much people are spending on fucking Panda Daytonas, right? 30,000.
One thing I would like to,
Go ahead.
I really think we should point out too, from a pricing point at the time, the first Royal Oaks that appeared at the watch show were in white gold because they didn't have the ability to make something with this complex of finishing in steel. And the price of gold was not what the price of gold is today. So the idea that through laborious finishing that was much more difficult at that time than it is now, that you could have a steel watch that is appropriately valued at the price of a gold watch, it seems kind of crazy. But when you actually look at the economic conditions of the time, it's really not. I don't think it would be for another 2 years Nixon would end convertibility, and gold was fixed at, what was it, like $32 an ounce?
I don't know. I wasn't around back then.
Some super low number.
Yeah, I wasn't around back then. But when Mike's question, Roy, was around, tell me the story of the Rolex. Like, why is it based off of its history? Well, I mean, it really hasn't changed that much, Mike. Since that time, it's become really the one-trick pony of the brand. What the brand is known for. And it's all in that history, the connection to Gerald Genta, the story of how he did it overnight, and it became this sensation that either saved the brand, you know, or what have you, because they were under some turmoil. They were looking for distributors because they needed to increase sales.
This is what, 72?
1972, yeah.
Yeah, because isn't that about the time that quartz came about?
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole mechanical watch world was in a turmoil because you know, of the accuracy of quartz and everybody just swarming to get quartz.
Even quartz. Like I'm going to show you I think I showed this on the last show. The first quartz watch was created by Seiko, the Seiko Quartz Astron. I'm going to pull up this watch here. I'm going to pull it from Wikipedia. They have a photo of it here on Wikipedia. Mikey, it was a gold watch. Like it was. Wow. It was supposed to be a high end. It was high tech, right? You know, quartz.
Well, it was high tech at the time.
Yeah, well, it's electronic, and you know, very quickly technology progressed, and you know.
But I mean, the basic quartz mechanism and design hasn't changed since '72. You know, it's quartz is quartz.
What's going on?
Hey, that's not really true.
Hey, Tan.
Yeah, I know. There's just different variations.
Listen. Why are we talking about watches? I want red meat, fuckers.
Well, you got to give us the red meat, Easy Company. You haven't been coming on lately. You got a little upset over those polls, man.
Yeah, well, I've been looking after the snakes. I want the red meat.
Like, why were you disrespecting Eddie this morning? Like, you were disrespecting HR. You were disrespecting Eddie. You were trying to, like, dox HR this morning. What was going on?
Well, I'll do what I want because I'm trying to get the snakes. I need to get the snakes, big boy.
The snakes. Now, what I did like was how Lux called out HR's. Basically, he called it a steel watch. Mummy's Bluesy was a steel watch. It was. I thought that was a bit of a very pointed comment from Lux. I thought it was pretty. That's pretty good.
Hey, don't talk about my friend HR like that, Tan.
We love HR on this show, and thank you, Goldfish, for the nice comments. Whole Milk says I'd say the 50 Phantoms, the 50 Fathoms, is more hyped on its history than the Submariner.
I disagree.
50 Fathoms.
I disagree 100%. You bring that watch up, and people look at it and they go, "Okay, it's a high horology diver." You know, I never hear any normal person bring up the idea that it was supposedly first, and obviously that's disputed these days.
Or that even knows anything about it other than that looks kind of like a sub and they like it and it's cool and expensive.
I love that capped bezel that gives it the wet look to the bezel. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of the 50 Fathoms for sure. It's beautiful. But the Submariner, you know, it's just definitely, you know, whether it was first or not, it was the one that captured the love of the watch buying community, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's still wildly popular, right? I mean, Mike, that's your you know, kind of watch of choice right now is the old subby.
Yeah. That's going to be my next purchase, just because you gotta have one in your in your collection. Although I would nab up one of this 50 fathoms in a heartbeat. I love the size, 45, and I love the kind of bulbous bezel.
When you see that bezel in person, I don't know if you've seen one in person. It's a sapphire cap bezel, so it
Yeah,
just has this wonderful liquidy quality to the bezel.
exactly. It's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my only concern with these watches is they're just overpriced,
Mm-hmm.
and even on the secondary, like, I mean, obviously they're cheaper, but it just never makes sense to me, guys. Like, I never would spend that much on the 50 fathoms. I would just buy a
Well,
sub, you know.
I think if you do the 50 fathoms, because you do it on the secondary market, you get it in titanium with the titanium bracelet, and then I think the price starts to make a bit more sense.
Okay,
Yeah, like I
I'll
wouldn't.
accept that.
I just probably wouldn't buy one unless I had a pretty deep lineup of divers, I guess. And look, I like divers. I'm not, some guys, they love collecting divers. That's all they collect is divers. Ronnie Paul actually, Mike, was telling me the other day, he's like, I just got way too many divers, and he wants to buy a Cermet. And I'm like, dude, just buy it. Like, if that's what you want, like, who gives a fuck if you have a bunch of divers? Some people only collect divers. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some people
I
only
don't
collect
see me.
subs with different text on the dial and slightly different,
Oh,
things
yeah.
that you have to grab a freaking magnifying glass out to notice.
I love that.
I don't.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I don't see myself buying any a dress watch anytime in my lifetime.
I just find the variation, Mike, in the old, like, what Roy's describing, right? Is you have all these little variations in vintage Rolex because they didn't have all the vertical integration that they have today, right? They may be outsourcing to certain dial makers, or they're producing in different batches, and certain dials would, like, they'd fade to brown. Certain dials had an underline on it. One crown looked like Bart Simpson's head, right? So it's called the Bart Simpson dial, and all this other stuff, right? Gilt text, white text, maxi case, maxi dial, all this shit, right? All these variations, which is the coolest part for me about vintage Rolex, is it's just the variation. I think it's cool. You just don't see it. You see a bit of it today, Roy. Like, the Cermet, right, had the Mark 1, Mark 2. You've got different Pepsi bezels, but I would say it's nowhere near what it was before.
It isn't like with the Deep Sea. I mean, you had a couple changes in the text on the dials from like the first year into the second year, or maybe it was like 18 months into production. And then, obviously with the Yachtmaster 2, they changed the hands. So there are little things where they'll tweak watches through their production, but it's not the same as it was.
The older 40 millimeter Sea Dwellers are like that as well. They had, depending on the year, you had the red lined Sea Dweller, and so yeah, they had small changes that differentiated them.
I was gonna say on this comment from Angie. So Angie, I'm not a huge fan of the El Primero history. I think the El Primero it's not the first automatic chronograph. I owned a Seiko Speed Timer, which had a production date of March 1969. So it was already in production, probably at the time the El Primero was shown at Basel. So, I mean, I
think the bigger deal, Tan, is that the saving of the production equipment for the El Primero. I think that's a much more interesting story than the actual development of the movement.
Yeah, but I mean, they market it as like the first, right? El Primero. And it's overdone. But I think that Angie has a point here of like a brand that's kind of known on its history is the El Primero for sure. Because that's the only reason people buy that is because it was the first, or the El Primero.
Yeah.
We got the ghost of Yiddish Gambino who says, "Hey, Mad Dog, first time caller, long time listener. Curious, would you rather have Judge or Otani in your lineup?" I'll hang up and listen for the answer. I don't even know who the fuck these people are, so I can't help you there, Yiddish Gambino, but I appreciate you checking out the show. We got CB in the chat. The Blancpain has the most satisfying bezel action in the industry. You know who actually told me that was Don Haynes. He was Don Haynes. He he ended up creating some Blancpain Facebook group, and he added a bunch of us in there back in the day. He had this watch, the Blue Dial, and yeah, he said the same thing. CB, he was a big fan of this watch. I think at that price point, even on the secondary, I'm just always gravitating to subs. I just really am. I like this watch, but I just won't spend the money on it for some reason.
I would get one of these if I had, money to blow and I already was, subbed up.
All right, let's get into money to blow, Mikeys. We got 2 auctions that are happening either right now or in the next little bit. Let's start with the Sotheby's Fine Watches auction. So this auction, 2 days until bidding opens on the 21st of March. I've filtered this by estimate of high to low. There's only 21 pieces in this auction. First watch, high to low, estimate 60,000, 120,000. Frosted out Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, Mikey. We were just talking about the AP, and it's gone from steel sports icon to iced out rappers, influencers. Like, Mikey, does this turn you off about the Royal Oak and how mainstream it's become?
Is this one iced out? I don't see the diamonds.
Yeah,
it's white gold. It's what
like
it is.
It's
got like this chiseled. I believe they have to like chisel this finish. It's really interesting.
It's
how
like
it looks
a heavy
in
sand. It's like a heavy sandblast looking finish or something. I guess I see what you mean by iced out. Yeah, no, I don't particularly like that finish on the metal. I like the waffle dials enough.
Mike, if you've never seen this in person, you got to see it in person. It has its own kind of unique quality to it.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. I having not seen it in person, I can't comment too much on it other than the 2-inch picture I'm looking at.
The frosted white gold, Mikey. The frosted white gold. But when I mean iced out, Mike, I mean like just very
frosted.
It's becoming very flashy, and it's becoming really that influencer's watch. And look, it's recognizable. It's a cool looking watch, but I think it turns a lot of people off these days, Roy and Mike. Like, I just think that a lot of people are getting bored with it. And
I fucking hope so, because I've wanted. When I bought after I got my watch as a gift from my parents when I graduated university, I was looking at the jumbo, and I was looking at the 5711 back in 2012, 2013, and I was like, you know what? I'm having kids now. I opted to get something that was more durable, so I got a Rolex, thinking, I'll just be able to pick one of those up in like 5 or 6 years. Nope.
We got a 5712 here on the screen on a leather strap. Now, our good friend CB in the chat has a beautiful, all full, he's got a bracelet, rose gold 5712. But this is a Nautilus, boys and girls. You can obviously.
And that is two-tone and gold. That is full gold. That's a full gold watch head. So if anybody's thinking that it's steel and gold, it is not.
It is not. You're right. I guess when I bought my 5711, Roy, I was not a huge fan of the 5712. Obviously, I knew that Patek Philippe was known for complications, but when I looked at power reserve, moon phase, date, like it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I really think CB's iteration of it. I'll pull up CB's here in a second.
Well, it's grown on me. Like, I didn't understand calculated asymmetry when I was like, say, 5 years into this hobby. I think that took me a while to really get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up CB's. This isn't his picture, but this is his watch. 5712 rose gold. Yeah,
wow.
It's stunning, man. On the bracelet, that is
really, stunning. Really
nice. Yeah, it's one of my favorite full gold, probably my favorite full gold Nautilus.
And the asymmetrical comment that you just made looks so much better on that picture than it does in this picture here. That wrist shot picture, the asymmetry really comes in and works in that ad picture. It doesn't. It looks a little off. It looks like it kind of has me kind of. But when I saw that wrist shot picture, the asymmetry just falls perfectly into place. It looks great. Love it.
I got a great story for you, Muhammad Ali. So Muhammad Ali says, I wish we could travel back in time and see Tan unbox his 5711. So let's go back, Muhammad Ali, to 2016. I just got the watch from David SW. I'm opening it up, okay? And this is the funniest part. I'm like trying to get the clasp open. And you know, if anybody who's ever ever had one of these watches, like the older ones, the clasp was absolutely fucking shit. And
it had that class through its whole production. So every single 5711, every single 5712.
I heard the newer ones they'd improved the clasp. I don't know, but at least in mine, which was like a 14 or 15 model, like it was the old clasp, right? It like I was used to my Royal Oak having that twin trigger like butterfly deployment and very smooth to get off the wrist. On this one, Mike, it's like you literally got to pull on it to get the clasp off or to loosen it, and it's just like I was not expecting that from this watch. I hated it from the get-go. And honestly, Muhammad Ali, it was funny because I had to I was like, is this really how you open this up? Like I had to really kind of look it up because I was not sure. Similar to when I got my my red sub, Mikey, I didn't know that at the time the 1680 red, the bezel wasn't unidirectional; it was actually bidirectional. So when I got the watch, I got it delivered, and I'm playing with the bezel. It's the first thing you do with the subs. You start fucking playing with the bezel. It started going both ways, and I was like, "Yo, is this fucking?
Oh no,
is this watch broken?" Yeah. So Muhammad Ali, a little bit of a noob thing where I couldn't get the clasp open, but figured it out later. And
I'm also assuming that your Royal Oak is post 2013 then, since you had the new clasp and the new bracelet on that, whereas the 5711 kept that same like silky, almost dress feeling bracelet for its entire production.
Yeah, mine was a 15300 at the time, so I was a 39 mil.
Okay, I was thinking jumbo. So yeah, no, if you had a 15300, that always had the beefy bracelet and the beefy clasp. But the 15202 in 2012, 2013, 2014, one of those years, they upgraded the bracelet and they upgraded the clasp.
Yeah, it was just one of the worst parts of that watch was the clasp. But if you can get past that, I'm sure, and as many people do, the Nautilus will be just fine for most.
Here's a Nautilus question for you: 3000 series ears or 5000 series ears? Which do you like more?
I actually like the 3000 series personally.
I agree. If I could have anything at this day, I would love to get a 3711.
Yeah, I always try to look up the 3700, 3711. I even look at 3800s every once in a while, and I just it's like the Royal Oak too. Like I like the 5402. I like the original jumbo. I thought those were cool, and
yeah, the dials on those, a lot of them have aged, but even if you get one that is relatively like mint, it has much different blue. It's much darker. It's a completely different looking watch, in my opinion, to a modern 16202.
Now, doesn't Vacheron make overseas called the jumbo?
No, they never did. The closest thing to the jumbo was they did a white gold ultra thin overseas for like 1 or 2 years of production. It had a gray dial with no date. It was the coolest overseas they ever made.
I stand corrected. I got the names mixed up.
And Mike, you think about it, right? We're back into 1972, right? Like the 5402 gets released, but it's the Royal Oak reference.
And that had the 1120. That had the JLC movement in it. It was the only overseas to use the 1120 that wasn't a complicated watch.
Okay. Well, no, I just remember my jeweler showing me a jumbo, and it just registered in my head, memory-wise, as a Vacheron. But it was actually a Royal Oak.
It could have been a Vacheron, though. Jewelers and salespeople, especially if you're going back 10 years, may not have been as on the nose with the language used by the manufacturers and stuff when selling these things.
Well, I think he would have known. And my comment was, it doesn't look very jumbo to me, because it was it wasn't a very big watch, the Vacheron or the jumbo that I saw was an older.
Fuck, they couldn't have shown you a. Could they have shown you a 222? Because a 222 jumbo is a
No,
37
it was
millimeter
he
watch.
called it a jumbo, and it was vintage, or it was older.
But you don't remember what the bracelet and stuff looked like? Hey, Dan, can you bring up a 222?
You know, I don't remember what the bracelet looked like. I honestly, I don't think it had the normal this bracelet that we're looking at now, or even.
Yeah, well, I just want to see. Does this jump out at you?
Yeah.
So that is a jumbo. The jumbo 222 was 37 millimeters. So if you thought it was small, and this very well could have been it, because especially if you're talking about more than a decade ago, nobody wanted the 222s.
No,
you know, they were not a sought after vintage watch at all.
This was a decade ago when he showed it to me, and it was old when he showed it to me. And I think it may have had this bracelet. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Does the bezel look like? Do you remember that? Because that scallop bezel and then the Maltese cross on the lug are two things that would really signify a 222.
It did not. To my recollection, it did not have the Maltese cross. Yeah, because he knew I liked the overseas.
Yeah, did they ever call the first generation overseas? Did they ever call those jumbos? Like, I don't remember that being the way they were referred.
No, I don't think so. I think I got it mixed up, and I think that that AP made a model called the Jumbo, and it was just older, and it was not that jumbo.
So it was probably a 5402 then.
Yeah, probably.
And yeah, Birminghard, I want to pull up this comment here. So Nat is talking about the Nautilus Jumbo Comet with Power Reserve and Romans is stunning. And then Burb says the 3710. And yes, he is talking about the 3710. I'm going to pull up a 3710 for you guys here. To see.
And just want to be clear, when they discontinued the 3700, they had the balls to keep a jumbo Nautilus out of the catalog for like 8 years until the 3710 released, and more than 10 years until they had a simple time date full-size Nautilus with the 3711. This time they discontinued it for a year after claiming they didn't want it to define their company when they released a green and Tiffany dial.
Okay.
Not the most popular Nautilus, but you do see these on the market every once in a while. I don't mind them. Personally, would never own one, but I can see the appeal here. I think Romans aren't super popular these days, and it throws a lot of people off. A lot of people don't buy watches with Romans anymore. But I can see the appeal in this Yiddish Gambino. But I think Birmingham got it right, 3710, and also definitely a red Milgauss.
Other weird part, the for the Power Reserve, that swoosh is the part that moves, not the pointer.
Oh, neat. I kind of like how. What was I going to just say? Forget it. Forgot what I was saying to say.
If I want on the wrist here for you guys to see. All right.
But we don't say.
So yeah, let's get back to the auction here, guys. This is the Sotheby's auction. So, Mikey, we were talking about the 5712. We saw the rose gold version on a strap. This is the steel version. Estimate between 50,000. I think that's a low estimate. 200,000. I think that's a high estimate. Probably gonna land towards the high end of this estimate for sure. But this one is a lot of people's grails. A lot of people love this watch. I did not like it initially, but it's really grown on me, and I think if I were to get another Nautilus, it could be probably 5712 myself.
So here's a question for you. Since they discontinued this, do you think they'll wait maybe a year and then bring it back with the new big date complication?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if this configuration is going to come back anytime soon, right? Like, I know the whole argument you made about the 5711, whether it was the green dial or the Tiffany. Like, I kind of have a different perspective of why they made the Tiffany dial, and it had more to do with what was happening at the time. Patek Philippe was up for sale, or they were trying to sell the business, and they were not getting the valuations that they wanted. I know people that were kind of on the inside in this, and this is what they told me was Patek Philippe just we're not getting the valuations that they wanted. So they go and they produce the Tiffany dial Nautilus, and you could see those watches $1 million trading at, right? So if they can go and create a limited set that can sell for $1 million plus on a watch, that really shows how much at least to show like investors and whatnot that their brand is probably worth more than whatever they're trying to pay. That's what was going on, at least I think at the time, Roy. I don't think it was about like.
I think it's a stupid way of looking at it from the ownership, which doesn't shock me because that's $1 million on the secondary market. Tech is still selling that for the normal price. So what the hell does that do to their revenue? Nothing.
Well, not. Sorry, you cut out there, Roy, but not today, right? That doesn't mean that the brand itself is going to sell those watches at $1 million. But if you buy that brand, if you become the owner of that brand, right, it basically shows that the market price is the price. It's not necessarily the retail price being the price, and it's what people would pay for it, right? So it does also show that there is a very strong.
Yeah. Try to tell that to venture capital when they're looking at a balance sheet. Just try that. It won't work.
Well, I guess that was the reason.
They're going to go, what are... Yeah, I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's the reason. I'm just saying it just shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how this is going to look.
Well, people also say that they didn't want to sell the brand either, and it was just how it was. But, that's neither here nor there. Birmingham Heart says Romans belong on our Cartier. I agree.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment to that effect and agree with Birmingham Heart after this popped up. When we were talking about the Romans, I was going to say something to the effect of I like Romans on a Cartier for sure. They look great on our Cartier.
Let me go back to sorting its high to low. So we saw two of these. We do have Kelsowitz's watch actually up for sale, 5320 perpetual counter. Estimates between 30 and 60. I think this is low. I think this may be high. I think it'll be close to that higher end of the range. So this is a 2017 perpetual calendar, the old Kelslowitz watch, Mike the Snake, in the mix. I think Kelslowitz will be excited to see how his watch does at auction. But all kinds of different pieces. This is a diamond set perpetual calendar. This is your aperture style perpetual calendar. One of the hardest perpetual calendar, like Watch Reporter has a 3940, and he always spruiks like, oh, it's the greatest perpetual calendar ever. One of the biggest problems with these sub-dial variants of the perpetual calendar, guys, is they're just very hard to read. And when we looked at the previous one, Kelsowitz's one, it's just so much easier. Aperture style is the classic perpetual calendar from Patek Philippe. It's probably the easiest way to read it. They kind of copied the 5396 off of it. This one I just always thought was, I mean, when you have enough money to buy a perpetual calendar, you're going to be a little bit older. You probably won't be able to read the fucking sub-dial. So I never really got the point of these. That was my kind of perspective.
I agree.
We've got a very generous super chat, Muhammad Ali, £5 Thank you so much. Who says, I would be brilliant if at Watches and Wonders Rolex, or it would be brilliant if at Watches and Wonders Rolex did release the red dial Milgauss, known as the Mikey.
I hope, man, that would be awesome. That would be so epic if a offhand incorrect guess of a watch actually becomes a Rolex model. That would be epic, man. I would go down and I would be like world famous,
We got Rich Mitch in the chat. For those that don't know, Rich Mitch has a cool fragrance channel. Check him out. I swang by his live stream yesterday. He was having a lot of fun talking about fragrances. If you like fragrances, go check out the Rich Mitch channel. Rich Mitch, we're looking at Sotheby's 9 watch auction coming up on the 21st. Next watch here, we got a Day-Date 2. This was never popular, this size and design of the Day-Date. I have a Datejust 2, which is also in the same boat. I don't mind. I never really got the hate on the Datejust 2, but Day-Date 2 just looks very awkward to me. And I never was a fan of the Day-Date 2.
There were some cool dials for the Day-Date 2.
It just gave me this whole
like if you get the platinum one, You can get the fully black dial that has the Arabic numerals on it, or you can get that blue wave dial with the Arabic numerals. I think those are really under the radar watches and are really cool for that reason. But the case is a little bit lumpy.
And this is a platinum version, guys. 218-206 Day 2 estimate between 30 and 60,000.
Wow,
Yeah, Mikey, I don't know.
that's a lot for a day date. Woo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, actually, not for a day. It's a day date. It's not a
Day
date
date.
just.
It's a day date. Yeah.
Oh, a day date. Okay, then I retract my statement. For a day date, that being platinum.
Platinum.
And what is it? 36.
Day 2, baby. It's I think this one is a big fiker. I think these were 40. I don't know.
Really?
41, 40. I don't remember. 41.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Maybe
Well,
41.
even better. Even better. I think the price. What do they say?
41. They were 41. They brought it down to 40. That's why they called it Day
So,
40.
I don't think these.
And that
these prices
undersells
are-
the size. When you see these compared to the Day 40, these are significantly bigger.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like, at least on the Datejust, I never really saw the difference on the Datejust 2 to the Datejust 41. I never saw, because Mikey, the Datejust 2 is 41. So
Oh, okay.
they call so they had the Datejust and then they had the Datejust 2. And the Datejust 2 was a 41 mil watch. But then they updated to the Datejust 41, which is, I was like, well, isn't that just a Datejust 2, I guess? Whereas in the Day 2, I think it was a 41. And they brought the size down to the Day 40, right? Which makes sense because now you have a Day that's in 40 and not 41. But the other ones were it was the same fucking size. So
Yeah,
So
it's a sharper case though on the new one.
oh, definitely, I agree. I like the new.
And the other thing that bothered me about the Datejust 2 is they never offered a Jubilee. It was Oyster only.
I didn't mind that. I have the Blue Romans version of it. I didn't mind that. I thought it looked really nice on the Oyster. I got fluted bezel. Cool
Oh no,
watch.
you absolutely. I don't mind a Datejust on an Oyster. It just bothered me that they didn't even offer it.
Yeah.
Another instance is I've had so many 40 millimeter, pre-ceramic subs and sea dwellers, and then they came out with the maxi case, which I just didn't like at all. And then when they came out with the 41, it wasn't really the 1 millimeter in size that made me really, really gravitate towards that watch. It was that they fixed all of the little issues I had with the previous models. The 40.
There's a lot of people that agree with you on that, and people that have tried to measure that thing with calipers. Nobody can come up with how it's technically bigger than the previous one.
Yeah, but what they did do was they fixed the bracelet and they thinned the lugs out, and the clasp is to die for. And
right, that's what I mean. Why people agree with you, that reprofiling everybody seems to like almost universally.
Yeah, and honestly, if I couldn't get a 41, I would just go and get myself a nice pre-ceramic 40 millimeters. They are near perfection with the exception of their shitty fucking clasp.
Even then, Mike, it's look. I had
It's
one.
not that shitty, but I mean, compared to these new billet clasps that were coming out, we are seeing today, they're. Yeah, I guess I didn't mean to say it. That.
Yeah, I mean, I had a 1680 Mike that was 50 plus years old, and it had the old clasp and all that shit, and it was still a usable watch. So, I get it. I get the argument of today about these newer clasps and whatnot, but I mean, I've seen that one in action 50 years later, and it still was fine. So this whole it's dinky or this, I get it.
Well, I don't think anybody means it's a reliability thing. I think they just mean it's a feel thing, and it's part of the problem is the price that a Submariner is sold at today, and that affects the price. That people evaluate one that was made 30 years ago when that really wasn't the price back then.
You're absolutely right, Ron. I think you're spot on with it, right? But Mike, you'll know this very well. It's like expecting to have Porsche, 992 GT3 RS technology or feel while getting into your 930. You know what I mean? And it's like you're expecting, you know, what's standard to modern today, but from something that's, you know, older, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, right? It was a different era. It just, that's not how they made them, right? And you should,
Yeah, and my
Different
comment about
era,
the
different
class,
price point, different buyer too. Like it's even more
yeah,
different.
and my comment, I didn't mean to say they're shitty clasps. They just seemed a little underdone.
hey, look,
I kind of expected a little bit thicker metal, but you know what? Tan's point,
Nobody did it then.
they always 50-year-old Rolex clasp is still working. It's a solid design, you know. And
no, Mikey, there's nothing wrong with saying it's shitty. Like, you know, that's,
oh no, I just called it shitty
And
because I
Tan
don't
brought
like
this
it.
up at his 5711. Like that clasp. I mean, when that watch was retailing for 24,000, and it was the mid 2000s, like whatever. With that watch at a secondary market price of well over $100,000, that clasp really like leaves you scratching your head.
absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I think it's, I just, when I look at vintage guys, because I hear Archie say this a lot, oh, it's a tinny clasp, it's a tinny clasp. It's like, Archie's just missing the point, right? It's a tinny clasp because that's how they made them back then, and that's the charm of it. And if you can't see that, then vintage or even some pre-ceramics are just not for you. But if you do like that stuff, if you're from that era, or if that's, you know, something you've owned and you find endearing, I think it's a great choice. Sorry guys, I'm getting super backed up on super chat, so I'm just gonna pull these up. But I do want to say hi to Phoenician Cedar. Thank you for the very nice comment. We got Ryan Hoffray, $2. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for doing AC3's job. Equals watch real watch talk. Then, yeah. Look, honestly, I've been watching the shows the last couple of days, and I'm like, oh, are we gonna fucking pull up a watch? Like, for fuck's sakes, like.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering the same thing.
Like, and I kind of even told Archie, I'm like, yo, Archie, like, he's like, oh, you know, the shows are going bad, and I gotta sell watches. I said, number one, Archie, you hate selling watches because you hate dealing with people, so that's gonna be a flop. And I just said to him, I said, you know, honestly, if you just showed up with an actual topic, even with no topic, but just, you know, spoke about certain watches and how you felt about them, you'd be doing just fine. People would be super chatting you money to see you explode and all this shit. But like, that's all on AC3 himself. Like, you know, you can bring the horse to the well, but you can't make it drink is kind of the way I see it. We got Rich Mitch, 2 British pounds. Thank you, Rich Mitch. He says, thanks for the watch talk. Now, I know Rich Mitch loves the watch talk. He hates, you know, he doesn't mind the drama. He kind of tolerates the drama, but Rich Mitch is really here for the watch talk. Old Time, he says the clasp is to die for. Then shitty clasp, for fuck's sake.
No, I mean, the clasp to die for I was referring to was on the like the clasps from today, on like the Submariner, you know, the slight glide locks, you know, they're those clasps, not just the snap clasps on like a pre-ceramic. And I didn't mean to call them shitty. They're not shitty. They're just I would own one again. So like, you know, that yeah, you know, I guess I expected a little more out of the clasp.
Well, I think
But
we're spoiled. I think we're spoiled, Mikey. Right?
we're spoiled now, especially with all these, you know, billet clasps that are out. But even back then, I was kind of like, huh. But you know, they were perfect, and they were always well done, and never had an issue with any of them ever. And you can't say that. You know, you see fake Rolexes, and you can just tell right off the bat. You know, just when you pop them open, you know, they can't reproduce the clasps, the you know, the engraving or whatever they do, you know, is different, and yeah, they can't.
I'm curious to ask you this question, Mike, because obviously you've owned a 40 mil sub and a 41. The clasp was not a lot smaller, but smaller on the 40 than it is on the 41. And Mike, when you said the 41, they'd improved the watch to almost perfection for you. Did you feel the same way about the clasp? Because the clasp has always been, when it moved from the 40 to the 41, a lot of people were complaining about being a little bit too chunky.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard people say the clasp is too big on the 41. I
think, Mike, you said you have over an 8-inch wrist, right?
No, I don't. And it's not over 8 inches.
Well, whatever. But if you have a larger wrist, if
Yes.
they increase the length of the clasp, it's not as big of a deal for you because you still have as many flexible links in the bracelet. If somebody has a smaller wrist and all of a sudden you're losing a significant amount of the flexible links in the bracelet, it can affect comfort.
Sure. Well, was it that they made it longer or fatter?
Longer.
Okay.
My understanding is that people are complaining about the length. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
All right, now Mikey doesn't says he'll never get a dress watch, but I'm going to talk a bit about dress watches here, Mikey, because we do have one on this auction list. This is a Patek Philippe 5134. So we do have a punter who watches our show, Der Stiefel. He owns a 5134. I don't know if it's in rose gold. I think it might be in yellow gold. But a cool travel time Patek Philippe. This one is signed by Gubelin. I'm sure Higgy's listening. He's going to correct me on how I pronounce that retailer. But it is a signed dial, which actually I think is actually cool because this watch actually just has Patek Philippe, I believe, on the right hand side. Which, like for me as a purist, I always I want the brand at the top. I don't like it at the bottom. I don't like it on the side. I want it right up top. But still a cool travel time watch. And for you guys to notice as well, from the era of crown guards on Patek Philippe dress watches. So one of my favorite eras. An era that I don't think has really gotten a lot of love yet. It's still considered neo-vintage, but to me, this is a good-looking watch. Price estimates between 15,000, 30,000. Restricted species means it's got an alligator strap or crocodile strap, whatever. Nice looking watch. I know, Mikey, you're not into dress watches, but
oh no, listen, this watch is gorgeous. I really like how they've done the lugs. The way they transition pretty gracefully into the bracelet from the case, and the crown guards are to die for. I love how they just seamlessly transition over the top of the crown, and this one has buttons on the left hand side that you can't even barely, at least at this vertical angle, they don't stick out much. But they've done the buttons in a real unique way. Most people put a button there, like a Speedy, and they've done their buttons differently. This watch is insane. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
yeah, I think it does add a bit of symmetry to obviously crown guards over here. You have, they can look a little awkward where there's nothing on the other side, but it does bring a bit of symmetry to it. I do like that. We do have Suckerhorn in the chat. Who says, "Good day, Tan gentlemen. Hope all is well. Please, hope all is well, sir." Now I'm gonna play a clip here for Suckerhorn, a clip of Archie Luxury talking some shit, and then we're gonna get back to Watch Talk.
I did go into a ladyboy bar once because I just wanted to see what it was like. Cost about 2,000 baht. There was nothing nasty or vicious. Quite well mannered. Chance to feel the breasts. Wanted to see what it was like.
There we go. Archie and his ladyboy bullshit, as usual. The Ghost of Yiddish Gambino, another lady size 37 mil Patek. I wonder what YouTube watch guy would like that. I don't mind the 37 mil size, honestly, in Patek Philippe's. Like the 5196 is a 37 mil, but does wear probably like a 38, maybe 38 and a half. It's got longer lugs. Really, really nice piece, but I don't think the diameter is just necessarily the only measure of like how a watch wears.
But wouldn't you agree though that like YouTube and like modern media has kind of leaned the watch world towards larger?
I think so. I think it's amplified in the Archieverse because of the whole historical beef between Archie and JJ, called it lady sized back in the day, and it just triggered Archie so much that it's become so prominent in the Archieverse. Like when people say like lady size, but that's where it came from.
Well, but we just exited the giant watch era, with Schwarzenegger and Stallone wearing Pams and giant Hublots and big bangs, 45, and then God forbid, that one brand that makes those Mongo watches. They sell them on television.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm not saying like I'm not saying that like big watches haven't been a thing. Like absolutely, you're absolutely right. Bigger is better these days, or in a larger size, closer to like 40 or something like that, or are watches that are more preferred. But what I was trying to get at, Mike, was I think it's more amplified, this whole idea of 37 mils being small in the Archieverse. When you go and you meet other collectors, 36 mil, 37 mil, it's common enough. I see, going to Red Bar events or other events,
yeah,
you see folks wearing 36, because look, I mean, there's people of all sizes out in the world, and not everyone's going to look good in a 40 or a 42, right? So no,
I
I
mean,
think
depending on climate and whatnot, my risk goes from 7.25 to 7.5, and like a 37 mil Oyster Perpetual, I think looks great on it.
Yeah, Jimmy, I was thinking the same thing where Jimmy says Kuiper Might Frog, because Archie, whenever Kermit Frog sends a super chat, Archie calls him Kuiper Might Frog. So Jimmy's saying Kuiper Might Frog, long time no see. So shout out to Kuiper Might Frog in the chat. Yeah, look, Roy's right too. Like, with wrist sizes expanding in the heat, it can definitely be, it can be challenging on certain sizes. But Mike, if you think about the Speedmaster Moon watch, it's a 42 mil watch,
yeah, it is.
but I don't think it wears as big as it seems. The lug to lug is quite short on it,
Hmm.
and it, like, for
You know,
me, a 41 mil sub looks bigger on my wrist than a 42 mil Speedmaster Moon watch. Go ahead, Mike.
oh, well, that's interesting. Because like, well, you know why? Because the bezel matches the black dial, and so it just looks like one flat black plate. Submariners have a big fat bezel, and their actual dial size isn't that big. And even when you go up to the 44 millimeter, deep sea, like the James Cameron,
Hmm.
it has the same exact size crystal as the Submariner. It's no bigger. It's just it's got a bigger bezel. They just went more
Right.
bezel with it and enlarged the case. But um, what my point is that like what 37s where the dial goes all the way out to a thin bezel on the
Yep.
outside
Mhm.
that is contrasting, like not match, not then they actually will kind of look bigger on the wrist. It's like an illusion.
Well, that's an absolutely it's a great point, Mike, because that's what a lot of these brands do is they will use different tactics to make a watch look bigger, or even in some cases make a watch look smaller. In the first iteration of the annual calendar, the Patek Philippe 5035, Archie used to own this watch. Um, it was a 37 mil watch, but Philippe Stern wanted it to fit like a classic 36. So it actually wears small. And that's one of the one times I will say when Archie's right when it comes to certain sizings being too big or too small. These days, if you say anything that's lower than 38 and a half, or even 38, Archie will be like, oh, it's a girl size. Even though a 5196 could wear as big as a 38, 38 and a half. Other Calatrava that he had, the 51 or 5296. So
Yeah.
I think
There's also a consideration too where we have more of the ability to have larger watches these days because of the development of these in-house calibers and stuff that are designed around larger case sizes. At the 5070, they had to play a lot of tricks on that watch to disguise the disparity between the Lemania base caliber and the case size of that watch.
Mm-hmm. That's also true. That's a good point. Mr. GMT, always a 36 day date and love it. Yeah, Mikey, I don't know if you've seen Mr. GMT's Champagne Dial day date. I think it's an 18238 double quick set.
Oh,
It,
I think I've seen him flash it
yeah, it just
on
looks
his
good on it.
wrist.
It looks
It's beautiful.
it looks good
And,
on him, right? Like,
yeah, and um, for me, I have larger wrists, so I'm gonna always just if it's smaller than 40, it's going to be out of my personal consideration. But my comment that I make previously made still stands. You know, there's beautiful, beautiful watches that look just as big as the 40 that like is my minimum, you know, at 36 or 37 or 38 or I don't know, who knows.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question, Mike. Obviously today, when the way we dress, right? Like potentially, polo shirts or t-shirts, often enough. When you're wearing a watch that's small, it's going to look small or even probably smaller. But when you're wearing a suit, when you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, a sweater, Mike, do you think you can get away with a smaller watch at that point, or do you think it'll still appear small? If you were wearing like a dress shirt with a smaller watch, let's say it's a 37, because you said you wouldn't consider anything less than 40. But if your attire made it so that you would have to wear more long sleeve clothing, do you feel that the watch would maybe be doable at that point?
Yes, I think size kind of goes out the window when you get to the like full 100% dress, long, full white shirt, coat all the time, that kind of, or even special event watch, there's a lot of crazy, most of the crazy watches are especially as when you go back a ways, or they 38, 37, 36 or 37, like all the Archie's Pateks were 37s, right? The
37s, yeah, most of them, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it just blows my mind, like how they can get that much detail into such a,
Well, that was another thing, right? Like these watches were, the smaller they were, the more difficult it was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they get down so small and they jam so much into it. It's like, wow.
But I mean, with the way fashion changed, and the way we dress, and even people are bigger, I guess you could say, today than they were back in the day. But I think it has more to do with fashion than it does with size of people. Because look, in the chat, you're seeing a number of folks, Lolex, Mr. GMT, Jimmy, and many others talking about 36 is just fine. That's been my experience as I, talk to other collectors. Like, I don't get the experience of like girl size X or girl size Y. It's just certain folks wear certain pieces of certain sizes. What's going on, Mr. GMT?
How's it going, boys? How's things?
Hey.
How's everybody been?
How you doing,
It's been
man?
a while.
Yeah, man. How you feeling, man? You done the surgery.
Yes.
Hopefully everything went well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I'm still a little bit, a bit sore and that, but yeah, well, it's getting there, getting a lot better day by day. So it's great.
GMT,
Good to hear.
We got Burb is stirring up in the chat here. The 37s were identical ladies' sizes, though. So you got like GMT. I always felt that it's just amplified in the Archieverse because of the whole JJ comment to Archie that really just triggered him. I think it's only that really gets everyone just constantly talk about lady size this, lady size that.
Lady sizes is up to look. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's up to the individual, right? So whatever anyone likes and what they wear, it's their prerogative. But you know what? I'll give you pros and cons in say for me for 36, right? I love the way the 36-day date looks on me, for example, right?
Yeah.
But as I get older, my eyesight's gone to shit. So trying to see that fucking dial is fucking next to impossible. That's the only con that I have with that watch. But the way that it looks on my wrist, the way that it feels on my wrist, I wore it on the weekend as well, and I loved it. So I went to church and that, and and I wore it. For me, it's a perfect watch if I could actually fucking see the bloody thing. If I had back 20/20 vision, right?
Yeah.
But
something I think a lot of people don't take into consideration as well is lug-to-lug distance.
A day date has got a really good lug-to-lug. Really
I'm just
good.
saying,
That's why it fits on most people's wrists.
You can make a small watch wear big, or a big watch wear small, simply by the lug distance. And that can, if somebody's actually going by actually shopping and putting the watches on their wrists and how they fit on their wrists, the lug distance is like the biggest factor. It's like whether the bracelet falls off the watch or continues to wrap around your wrist.
But again, everybody's size and wrist presence is a lot different to each other. I've got a really flat wrist, So when I wear it the day date, it actually looks a lot bigger than what it is. I don't know why, it just does. So it's just the way that it is. Everyone's different, so we can't all be bored and water if we could all wear the same shit, right? It's good to have variety, and that's what I love about it. You know, I'm wearing things that people won't wear, and people wear things that I wouldn't wear. It's
Well,
just
GMT, I wasn't going to go so far, GMT, as to say that the Date 840 wouldn't look good on you, because I've seen you wear big watches, and those do look good on you. So I don't think if you go up to a Date 840 later because you're like, yeah, you don't want to see the watch but still enjoy it. I wanted to hear your take on what Burbinghart's saying here, because you own big watches, you own small watches. Burbinghart says he loves the 39 to 40 mil in a tool watch, maybe a sports watch. And 38 to 39 is perfect for a dressier piece. GMT, would you go a little small on the dressier piece? Would you go a little bit bigger on? You own them all, so like you tell me. Do you think Burb's spot on, or do you think he's off here?
I think a smaller watch for a dressier piece, like a 38 or 39, is perfect. Personally, I think, but that's on me. But everybody's different. So, for example, Arch, for I don't know, whoever's got a bigger wrist, right? But we just use Arch for example. I think they looked a bit small on him, to be quite honest. But because he's a bigger guy, I'm a smaller guy, so I can get away with, wearing a smaller watch. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's my wrist, but even when I wear a bigger watch, it actually looks good on me. But as a dressier watch, yeah, smaller watch, yeah, it goes much better. I personally think.
I was just going to say real quick, like I have a PAM 48, so it's a 40 millimeter Panerai, and like me wearing that compared to my dad wearing a 47 millimeter Panerai, if you just like took pictures, you would have no idea. Like a 47 millimeter on him looks like a 40 on me.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I've got a Planet Ocean 45.5, and I've got the same Planet Ocean in
45.5. Damn.
Yeah, and 42.2, 40.5, sorry, 42.5. And when I wear them, and I've worn them on stream, people confuse which one it is. That's crazy, right? They confuse which one I'm wearing.
That is wild, because I've seen you wear big watches, I've seen you wear small watches, Jim, and none of them look bad on you. That's the cool part about it, and that's why. I mean, I was super interested to hear your take, because you went with the 36. I know why you did, because it was a bit more sentimental to.
Yes, that's the main reason why. The main reason why was the sentimental part, but I did love the watch regardless.
Yeah, so, it's a fucking, for me. Yeah. 36 champagne dial, like that's just classic. We got a super chat from Watch Nerd Nick 990 Malaysian ringgit. Thank you so much, Watch Nerd Nick, who does say in the chat that he is liking the watch talk today. I appreciate all the boys hopping on, talking some watches with me today. Just topics that are. Go ahead, Jim.
Date 840 to Date 836. Do you really think that's more legible? To me, they're about as easy to read. I don't know.
I know, but I'm turning 50 this year, right? In a few months, so.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on like the date disc and stuff. There's really not that much different. I mean, it's pretty marginal on like the text size and everything.
Yeah. Boys, I've got to go. I just thought I'd quickly come on. I've got 3 customers jumping.
I appreciate it, GMT. Thanks so much for up, man.
No, man. I always love your watch talk. You know that, Tim. Thank you very much, boys. Take care and stay sexy.
Good talking with you.
Stay sexy. All right, let's run a clip here for Mr. GMT as he hops off. Let's run Archie's famous clip of him resizing his, I think this was his Seiko bracelet. I don't remember. Let's pull it up.
Bezels, bezels.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da.
Fuck!
Oh!
Whoa. I just love that live, guys. Because whenever Archie like fucks up live, it's just so much more satisfying, I would say. Some of his best videos are videos of him when he's like trying to take a bracelet off. But yeah, Jimmy, this was live. He was adding I think he was adding a link to the bracelet, and then it snapped out or some shit. I don't know. It was just funny.
One of the most annoying is like some of the watches, if you're swapping it from a bracelet to a strap and then back to the bracelet, some of those conforming end links are just motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's true. Now, balls deep. Let's not get into Explorer talk, because I'm an Explorer fanboy. Mike the Snake does not like the Explorer. I never got Roy's take on the Explorer. I think maybe I have.
You have. I mean, I always thought that the larger size Explorers look just a little bit off. Like it looks really correct in 36.
It's funny because that is one watch. Like maybe the Datejust 36 to me doesn't feel small. I don't know if it's the bracelet in the case or just the bracelet itself, but the Explorer 36 does feel small. However, I agree with you, Roy, that when you increase the size, I just don't think Rolex has got it right. And I'm wearing the 40 right now. It's the watch I usually wear when I stream. I enjoy this watch a lot. Yeah, it's good, but
My
it's not
favorite, if I was going to buy one, I still probably wouldn't buy the 36. I'd probably buy the 39, and I'd buy it pre-loomed Arabics.
Pre-loomed Arabics. Yeah, okay. So up here on the screen, guys, another one of the Sotheby's Fine Watches auctions. This is a 5512 Submariner. So same era, guys, as the 5513, which major difference here is you got the 4-line text. This was the certified chronometer version, even though, people have said, hey, the 5513s were, chronometer grade. They just weren't certified in that movement. But the 5512s were the 4-liner versus the 5513s with the 2-liner. But as, Roy had said, you got all these fucking variations and subbies where it's like 1 line of text, 4 line of text, whatever. And it can, some people just...
Well, and there was one thing that you hit on like a while back in the show that we didn't really elaborate on. And I think it ties into this, is your appreciation for those little minute details, and then you were talking about, okay, the accuracy not really being relevant. But I mean, how many people out there that are big collectors like Aussie Expat that have their own equipment, and just for the sake of measuring these things that they bought, they're seeing how accurate they are, how close they're getting to spec and this and that. So I think in a way, even though like somebody who comes at it from more of an aesthetic standpoint, like I do, there are a significant amount of collectors who this matters to.
Absolutely. We got Birbinghart, $2. Thank you so much, Burb, who says Arch losing the cork in the wine bottle was jokes. Now he's talking about the Penfolds Grange 2006, I believe it was. It's a video that he did with his friend Marky. Now Marky is the one who kind of fucks up the cork, Burb. I've been trying to get Marky onto the stream. Archie is like, yeah, Marky's kind of fell on hard times. So I'm like, yo, like bring him on. It'll be great. Like, maybe it'll raise his spirit. So Archie's working on it. But he's the guy who helped. He's the guy who fucked up the cork in that wine video, but we've seen that video before a couple times. Maybe I'll get Archie to play it later. We got Gary in the chat who says Explorer 2 was the best. I don't know. These would be some fighting words here, guys. Explorer 2 was the best Rolex ever. I don't know. Maybe Archie agrees with that. Roy, Mikey, what do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't have anything against it. I don't gravitate towards it the way I do towards the Submariner and the divers stuff. I really like the Pepsi a lot, but the shape wise though, I prefer the divers style shape. Although the GMTs, it looks kind of diver-ish, doesn't it? But
Mike, yeah, I have a 1655 here up on the screen. This is the original Explorer 2. Now, it wasn't a GMT at the time. This was a day-night indicator for folks in caves, and it was funny because I think Roy said it.
Yeah.
Roy said it on one of the
spelunking.
Yeah, Roy. Someone said, "Well, what if it's dark in the cave, and how can you see all the bezel?" And Roy was like, "Look, if it's dark in that cave and you can't see anything, you have bigger fucking problems."
Yeah, exactly.
You have bigger fucking problems than looking at your bezel of your watch, right? Look, Gary, I think in this iteration, I love the day-night indicator version of it. Kind of the essence of the Explorer 2. When the Explorer 2 moved to a GMT, I never really understood it in the collection. But the man to actually tell us whether the Explorer 2 is the best Rolex ever is here on the screen. Archie, is the Explorer 2 the best Rolex ever? Quick.
Yes. There
you go. I knew Archie was going to say that.
I got an unboxing to do for you. I got 2 things to unbox. Where do I start?
You tell us.
Okay, Okay, number one. Okay. I want to show you. This is aspirational. Do you like aspirational unboxings?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Because Ken, I'm not as successful as you. You realize that.
You're getting there, Archie. You're getting there. A couple more.
By
years.
the way, can I tell you something?
Sure.
Yeah, I went yesterday and I've signed up for Tattersouls. Okay.
Okay, but you haven't been rejected yet. We were waiting for the rejection letter to come in.
Yeah, they're gonna reject me, but yeah, it's gonna anyhow. I'm just telling. I don't want to say anything more. We don't want to jinx it because I would actually like to be a member because I would welcome fans can come in as my guest. Okay.
Well, yeah, fuck yeah. If I'm going to Brisbane, you're taking me there. Fuck right off.
Yeah, so I want to make the offer to any of my fans. If you want, as long there is a dress code. You got to wear long pants, and you can't have bogan. You can't be a complete bogan.
Well, are you wearing pants right now? We don't know if you're even fucking wearing pants for all we know.
Wearing pants.
There you go.
Now
you got someone in the chat, Archie. I pulled up his comment. We haven't seen him in a long time. Say a big hello. Comment's already up here.
Kermit the Frog. I don't know why I keep overwinding watches on my
Not
wrist.
Kermit, man. That's Kuipermite Frog.
Kuipermite Frog.
Kuipermite Frog. All right, Archie. I'm gonna let you run the show. I'm gonna go into the chat. I'm a little tired here.
Quickly,
I'm gonna watch it in the chat. I'm gonna watch it in the chat, guys.
Okay. You want to see the unboxings?
Yeah, let me watch it from the chat. I'll drop. You do the unboxing, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Okay, Roy, how are you? Mike, Roy.
Doing well.
You want to see which unboxing? We got a watch and we got an aspirational product.
Well, I mean, we've been doing watch chat, so watches are the topic at the moment.
Okay, here we go. Da-da. I'll just bring it up, okay?
Oh, it's the Chopard.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you think? They're
Oh,
happy.
they're definitely a nice ladies piece.
34 mil. I'm just going to get it polished. And then, I don't know whether it cost me. I'll tell you what I paid for that. You want to know what it cost me?
What did it cost you?
Yeah, I had somebody who was prepared to take less than they paid for it. Okay. It's a new concept you might want to introduce to your mother. I paid $2.50 US for it. $2.50. $2.50.
Good deal. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're listing it on eBay, or what are you doing with it?
No, I want to track a box down, and I want to get it a very light micro polish, and then
Okay.
I want to, yeah. Then I'll list it. Now I've got an aspirational product just came in. You're an aspirational man, aren't you?
On a few things, anyways.
Okay. I'm just trying to take it out. Okay, let me get this bitch out. Here we go. Da-da. What do you think?
I can't see it. What is it?
I'll give you a clue.
Oh, it's something Bentley. It's something Bentley.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Patel Philippe. Are you selling ladies shitters? I might have to. Tan, I am selling ladies watches. I'm selling watches to men and to ladies. There's more.
Yeah.
I think the ladies stuff, if you present it right, you can get a good deal. Now, I'm taking this out. It's a Bentley. You know what a Bentley is?
Yeah, is it like a 1/20th scale model, or is that what it is?
18.
18. Okay. Nice. Is this going to satisfy the Bentley urge, or are you still going to be wanting one to drive out on the road?
Do you know how expensive a Bentley is to maintain? It will fucking bankrupt me.
You can come on. You should just find any turbo R that runs and drives.
Chrysler 300C and convert it into a Bentley.
Oh, you get the grill for it, the Bentley S grill.
Yeah, put the B on it.
Yeah, yeah. Did they sell those in Australia much?
What's that?
I mean, I said, did they sell those 300s in Australia much? They were super popular in the States.
Yeah, they were kind of like pretend Bentleys. That's a Bentley you'd had if you couldn't afford a Bentley, you know?
Well, I mean, the other thing is the base of that car is an E-Series, so I mean, it's a pretty solid chassis and stuff.
E-Class. Yeah, it was the old Mercedes E-Class, correct. You know your luxury. So that's the Bentley. What do you think, Mike? Mike!
I think it's sharp. I like it.
And that's about as close as a Bentley that anybody should ever go. Don't go any closer than that. They will rip you a proverbial new asshole.
Come on, you know you want a Turbo R. Just get a Turbo R. It'll be fine. Everything will work out.
Well, when I think of Bentley, I think of Rolls Royce, and you know, growing up in the 70s and 80s, you know, Rolls Royce was always this big, long, hooded, you know, kind of antique-y kind of thing. And then there was the Silver Ghost, and there were always this big, huge, you know, road yachts, you know. Whereas the car that Archie's showing right there is more of a driver's car. You know,
Yeah.
it's more of an
the new rollers, even the short wheelbases, those are not small cars.
Now, do you have any idea how much trouble you could get into with that car, like financially? Do you have any idea how bad the super chats have been lately?
Yeah, but this will be like great YouTube. Your channel will be reborn as you complain about like going broke with the Bentley service
Fuck
prices.
me dead! Fuck me dead! The prices. Yeah.
Oh, you know. Yeah, Uber wouldn't be an option either because obviously, you know, it's not going to be running much. So you got no way to recruit the money on that, unfortunately.
No. So tell me, talk to me, okay? What is your favorite Bentley?
Out of the modern ones, probably the Continental. I mean, I like big two-door touring cars, so, you know, I got a soft spot for the Continental for that reason.
Yeah, I get you. Continental, they are beautiful. I love a Bentley. I love a dodgy motor car. You know what I'm saying?
Just like the Rolls-Royce Wraith. If I was in the market for a either a Bentley or a roller, I would have to get one of those big two doors just because kind of the ridiculousness of it, I think, is fantastic.
Yes.
A buddy of mine in Miami, in South Beach, he sent me some photos. He was out getting breakfast, and somebody had pulled up to the place. And apparently, I didn't realize this, they have an electric version of the rollers these days.
Oh, is that right?
That's what he was saying. And it's got, like, you know how Porsche did the green on the calipers for, like, the original hybrids in Panamera and stuff? This had, like, different colors and whatnot on the wheels. It was blue, I believe. I'd have to pull up the picture, but it'll knock me off the screen. So,
interesting. Huh? So you could, you know, venture to say that they're probably based on another company's platform.
I don't know. You know, one of the things I will say for an ultra luxury car like that, an electric drivetrain makes a lot of sense.
Oh no, electric would be way easier to do. No.
Yeah. It's going to be super quiet. You don't, you know, the car's still big, so you can fit plenty of batteries in there. If it weighs 10,000 pounds, who cares? You know?
Exactly. Yeah. No. I was thinking. I forget what I was referring to. So I agree with you. It would to do a modern luxury electric car way easier to do today than it would be to do. Like, I guess my question was, it was based. My question was: are these cars based on another car's platform, like that Bentley being based on a E-Class Mercedes?
The Chrysler, you mean?
Or whatever. Does Bentley have the ability to like make their own engines and their own?
No, they're in vag. They're vag. Vagina. 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 Vagina, Mike. Vagina. 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 She has a vagina.
Okay.
Vagina, Mike. You understand, Mike?
Not really.
Volkswagen Audi Group. Vagina. Volkswagen Audi Group. They share their running gear with Audi, Mike.
I get it now.
The first Bentleys were rebadged Photons. Volkswagen Photons.
Oh, the Phaeton.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the V12, right?
Yeah, well, where do you think they put it? Because nobody wanted it in a fucking VW, did they?
No. They
sure
didn't.
Nobody fucking wanted it, Mike.
I thought they were pretty cool cars.
Yeah, but people like you couldn't afford it.
No, we
they
couldn't.
Didn't fucking buy it, Mike.
No.
Yeah, everyone thought it was cool, but they didn't actually spend their money on it, Mikey. Do you understand or you don't understand?
Sure. No, I understand, Archie. I see. I understand.
Yeah, Mike, come on, Mike. Work with me.
I am. I'm on your page, Arch.
Work with me, Mikey, not against me.
I'm not working against you, bud.
Come on, man.
I didn't know that the newer Bentleys were part of the Volkswagen. They're kind of like
vag.
Like
it's vag, Mike. It's vag. Yeah. It's vag.
They're like this monster company now.
Vagina, Mike. It's vagina.
Don't they own Porsche too?
Vagina.
Don't they own Porsche too?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. They're like this mega company now.
No. They're vag, Mike. Vag.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike. Work with me.
Is that a bad thing? I don't know.
Vag! We got my favorite man on the show.
Mike is your favorite. Mike is my favorite. Mike is my favorite.
Hey, Marky. By the way, Marky, what do you think of the show part on the screen? Yes, no? Would you give that to a gay man? Could a gay man wear that? It's 34 mil.
He'd have to be dainty and feminine, but you know.
Yeah. It's Satan's kitten.
He would prefer a SpongeBob SquarePants.
I paid $2.50 US for it, Marky.
Oh, now hang on. Did you? Oh, this isn't the one from Roy's mother, is it?
No. Roy's mother wants what she paid for it.
I see. Well, what were they retail?
About 13, 14.
Wow. Holy cow. And you offered 1,000.
No, I paid $2.50 for this.
Yeah, I know. She has the one with the fish floating around in there.
Yeah, but
she didn't pay retail for it. She bought it used, but she's still not gonna let it go for a loss because she doesn't care.
So wait, Roy,
I like to say they don't care about money, but their God is money. Yeah, I get it.
Roy, she ripped somebody off too. Good for her. Good for Mom. I like Mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's funny. All the watches for like my dad and whatnot, or for herself, she always buys them secondhand off of like mostly eBay.
Smart lady. She probably watches ARCHIELUXURY. Or smarter if she doesn't. Anyway, no, I think that 34, it's kind of too small. You'd need somebody very, very dainty for that.
Well, man, I mean, the most beautiful watch in the world, I think, is the very small Cartier Tank Française. Just pure and simple and dinky, square.
I can't argue with that, Mike, but I can argue with these super chats that you haven't read. So let's get to them. Super chat. Here's the next one.
Super chat.
Super chat. Super chat. Patel
God
Philippe.
damn.
$1. Okay, AC3. Call me when stuff is on liquidation. I'm a buyer at cost minus 500. The cards taught me well. Thank you. Thank you. Look at it. What I'm trying to do is, let me explain it to you. The watch business is, the YouTube channel is going through the shitter. It's a shitter. Shit. So what I want to do is get another hobby, another business going. So I got to be totally honest with you, Mark.
Another stream.
Can you crochet?
He's looking for another stream. He can't lose enough money crocheting. He needs something better.
Well, he could crochet on stream and then sell what he crochets.
You could do basket weaving at home.
Again, he can't lose. He'll lose much more money on watches, which is really the goal here. It's a tax write-off, right, Arch? Super chat. Here's the next
100% right, Marky. 100% right. Yankee Doodle, which is more prestigious, Rolls Royce or Bentley? Okay, so let's just back the truck up there. They were basically the same. In the Rolls Royce took over. They were very different. They were different. Then Rolls Royce took over Bentley in the 30s, I think it was. And then they basically were badge engineered. You had a Bentley badge or a Rolls Royce badge. Then they started to release some special edition Bentleys. So they were actually better than a Rolls Royce and more expensive. However, we move forward to early 2000s, and what basically happened is
what happened?
Rolls Royce became part of BMW and Bentley became part of Audi. Now, what is more prestigious today? I got to be totally honest with you. It would be Rolls Royce. They are more expensive. They are more expensive, and they are, in my opinion, I think they're more exclusive. However, Bentley is nothing to be sneezed at. There is no poor man's Bentley. Let's just say that. Well,
I also think Rolls-Royce did a great job when they redesigned their lineup and came out with the new Phantom and stuff. I think that the design is more timeless.
Well, the Phantom, they actually had the Phantom originally came out in the 20s. Okay. However, the Phantom was a much bigger car than the Shadow. The Shadow is the 1970s car, 70s, early 80s. 70s until 1980 when the Spirit came out, which was basically just a restyled Shadow. It wasn't, because Rolls-Royce was in financial difficulty. The Phantom was a class above. It was a much bigger car. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the new one. When
had a
V12
out of the BMWs. It came out of Mikey. It came out of the 750IL. You know, all that BMWs that use that V12. That's what it became.
The Rolls Royce.
Yes.
Super chat.
Okay. Thank you for the history. I'm now educated.
Super chat.
Here we go. Super chat. Super chat.
Super chat.
Kymite Frog, $10. Missed you, Arch. Congratulations on the show part and the new ride. The new ride. Let's have a look, Marky. I've actually got a Bentley. Bentley. This is the only one I could. This is the only one I should stay with. Do not buy the real thing.
I thought you bought the hat.
Bankrupt you.
Mikey, I thought he brought a Bentley hat.
This is I mean, seriously, you do understand how ridiculous it is to buy these things when you are a poor man. I am poor man, honey. I'm poor.
I'm not rich man. I'm poor man. Honey, I shrunk the Bentley.
And did you know with these Bentleys?
By the way, it's Chode Pard. You didn't get his joke. Chode Pard.
Pard.
Yes.
Here we go. Put it back up on the screen now. I'll be 1 minute. Someone's here. 1 minute.
Oh, let's watch him leave. Oh, look at Archie all dressed up today.
Oh
Mike.
yeah, dress. He's in full dress today.
Is he going to a funeral? Like, what is that all about? Well,
Man, at least my ears are relaxing a little bit now.
I know, right?
I got Vag screamed into my ear, like
Vag?
I had to take the headphones and move them away from my head.
Mikey and Roy, I need some advice on a car. I'm sure Archie's going to have opinions on this, but should I buy a Range Rover Sport?
No.
No.
Damn it.
Get the real. If you're going to get a Range Rover, get the real one. Don't get the Sport.
The full-size one's just kind of too big, honestly, for what I'm looking for. That's like a Navigator. It's too big.
You need as big of an SUV as possible to drive over those leaves that get on your driveway in the fall.
Well, the problem with them is, sometimes I go to the theater and I park in those indoor Chicago parking theaters where you have to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get you.
And your bumper is like this close to the wall the whole time you're going. It's like, I don't like that.
There's no anything other than like a crossover SUV that's a reasonable vehicle for parking garages in Chicago.
Toyota made that one about 10, 15 years ago that was real chunky, kind of looked almost like
the FJ Cruiser.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I test drove it, by the way, but it had this tiny slit, like the back window was like this. It had like terrible visibility.
Oh, okay. I just, I'm thinking in terms of like Range Rover. No, what's in between there, and what's left that's like, 4-wheel drive SUV kind of.
Have you looked at like the Mercedes SUVs? Because they have some that are a little bit shorter.
You know what?
They're
all
really
ugly,
nice.
though. I would love to get a Mercedes SUV, and they look pretty good from the front, but the rear ends on the entire GLE line, they're just ugly. By the way, are you calling us from a children's daycare center?
Yes. One of my kids' friends, their parents were sick, and so I was told what I was picking up her, I'd be picking up the other one.
I see. Well, my as a father, now a grandfather, I'm much older than you. I have a lot of experience raising kids years and years ago. Benadryl. My advice always is Benadryl.
Yeah. For me or the kids?
Take your pick. Actually, I prefer whiskey for you and Benadryl for them, and then you'll all be on the same page.
Yeah. No. So,
Mark.
This is going to be my wife's problem in another hour because I got a meeting I got to go to at 5. So
I see. I understand. The problem with Benadryl, Mike, is for most kids, it does have the effect of zonking them out. But for
and then there's that one or two where it does the opposite.
Speaking of crazy children, did your Doberman ever get to the point when you left the house for like anything longer than 10 minutes and you would come back and they would act like, I don't know, even marginally sane?
I'm a dog trainer, Roy. So yeah, of course. You're talking. Look, Dobermans are Velcro dogs, so they are subject to separation anxiety, and you can either feed that or not. Most people feed it because they like it. They come home, I missed you. They the dog wants to touch them at all times. They let them, or they make the dog get touched. Most people do the things that sort of feed the frenzy. I'm a dog trainer, so I prefer to feed the calm. So my dog.
It's when I come home and whatnot, I make him sit, and I make him if I try to pet him and then he goes to like lick or anything at the hand, nope, you sit there and wait until, and you can just see his butt going so fast with the tail, and it doesn't matter if I've been gone for 10 minutes or 3 weeks.
So you're telling me everything you do that doesn't work? Nice.
No, I got to do something else to get him to calm.
Well, let me ask you this: how's it working? How's that working for you?
Well, in reality, he's about 26 or 27 months now. I think he's actually mellowed out considerably. The one area where I really feel like he hasn't mellowed is, the whole separation anxiety thing.
Well, you spent the last 26 months feeding it. You can reverse that. Just stop. Stop doing all the things that you do that make him crazy, and then he'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is the way this works. I've even adopted older dogs. Like my Dobie was already in 11, 12 months when I got him. And he was a little buddy, but he settled pretty well.
Yeah. My Toby the Wonder Dog is 16 now.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
So the kettle
he's
whistle
awesome.
eventually goes away.
The what?
If you do the right things.
Yes. But I wrote a whole book on this. Let dogs be dogs. There's a whole section on
Let dogs be dogs.
Archie has a copy. He's never cracked it, but he does have a copy.
Yes, and it also let bitches be bitches. What works in the dog world works in relationship advice. You know that?
Yeah. Don't give too much.
All right, yeah, so we got to get Archie's opinion though on
I didn't like that story where Archie was eating shit. I mean, hey, Marky, is there any chance in the next book I don't have to be eating shit?
Oh, that's right.
I love it, Marky. Marky, you know what? I love it. I love it, Marky.
I completely forgot about that. What Archie is talking about?
Archie's the wonder dog. Hey, Mikey, Archie's the wonder dog that keeps eating its own shit.
He's
that be a problem?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. Not mine.
In Let Dogs Be Dogs. I put a bunch of Easter eggs, and one of them.
Super chat. Woo. Marco 131, £2. Range Rover is trash. Constant problem. Now,
Wait. I was asking if I should buy a Range Rover Sport, and that's what we were talking about while you were gone.
I gotta tell you something, okay?
The Sport. Mm-hmm. Tell me. Obi-Wan. Tell me. Mm-hmm.
What were you saying, Mark?
Well, listen, when Archie's going to wake up any minute, guys, but in Let Dogs Be Dogs, I had to give examples of different dogs problems, that we solved. And then so I had this one lady owned a fat Australian shepherd named Archie and a sad-faced beagle named Clyde. And the problem with Archie was he pulled on a leash. He ate everything he could get his hands on, including his own feces. And Clyde wouldn't stop barking.
I love it, Marky. You can put me in your books anytime. Archie, Marky, I gotta tell you, man, I love you. You honestly, you mean the world to me. This panel we've got here is just absolutely top. Let me tell you, Range Rover. I actually hated Range Rover. I always used to slag them off. When bondage came. We went with, what's his name? Air King Ben. He had a Rangie. And I love Air King Ben. He used to pretend it wasn't his. Of course it was his. The guy is a squazillionaire. Mm-hmm. And anyhow, it was actually a fucking nice car. Nice car. And I got to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. What more does one want in life? A nice. I mentioned in a book about a dog who eats shit. Thank you.
Named Archie.
Next time, could it be a bit more? Just not as offensive.
Yes, I know. Next time, I'm going to make Archie a dog who wasn't neutered and was overly horny. Just humped everybody in the house. So then they had to neuter Archie, and he calmed right down. So yes, I've got an idea for my next book. Don't worry.
But when you neuter or spay a dog, don't they usually get fat?
No.
Do they tend to stay home more if they're do not roam as much? If they're like a ranch dog?
I mean a little. But who lets their dog
roaming to me is extremely breed dependent, not really neuter.
Well, I mean, I grew up out in the country, so like our dogs.
The trunk opens up. Now, the funny thing with a Bentley is, did you know a Bentley serviceman will always have a plunger in the back of the Bentley. Do you know, in the back of their service vehicle? Do you know why?
Toilets?
That's the same plunger. You know why they will always have one with them?
Why is that?
Because to open the boot, the trunk, it's all done electronically.
Mm-hmm.
So if the battery goes flat, the battery's in the trunk. How do you get there if you can't open the trunk?
Well, how do you open it with a plunger that's inside the locked trunk?
So what you do is you actually use a plunger to suck off the rear tail lights, and you can work your hand in to release it.
So you're telling me that everybody who owns a Bentley keeps a plunger in the back seat?
Yes. For that very reason, indeed. Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question. You wouldn't go into the house. You know, you come out in the morning, battery's dead, can't get into your Bentley. You don't go, fuck. You go into the bathroom, you pull the plunger.
You suck the taillight off your car.
You know, with the toilet plunger. By the way, guys, those of you who have not been to Australia do not understand why the plunger is such an important piece of equipment in Australia particularly, and that is because there is no water in the Australian toilet. It's basically dry with like maybe 5 drops of water and a very steep drop off. Ours,
I must tell you,
like a nice bowl.
You know, we get skid marks in the toilets.
Yeah, well, you do.
You don't have skid marks in America because it's constant water flush.
Well, not only that, but our bowls are nicely, curved. The Australian bowl, like it's like this. And so everything has to hit and then slowly slide down. So believe me, if you're at a friend's house in Australia, you will do anything before you crap in their guest bathroom, because what you know is there's no way to get that out of there. I mean, they clean. We clean with, like a little scrub brush. They clean with a hammer and chisel. It's so fucking nasty. Australia, what's wrong with you? Super chat.
Super chat! Super chat! Super chat! Super chat! Super chat! Super chat! Yankee Doodle! Your suit suits you. You shouldn't be wearing that oversized black t-shirt. By the way, how much did you pay for the Bentley replica? Bentley, what's he talking replica?
He means your model, your scale model.
That was about $100. Which is actually a bargain because I look around on eBay for bargains.
Maybe next year it's going to be worth 40% less.
I love it. I you know what? I've got my BMW. I got this Bentley, the first BMW I had, and my wife's Q2.
Angelic says we shit meat. Yes, you shit meat. You shit like, leg of lamb, but you shit it into a toilet that has no curvature, and our curve is like a bowl filled with water. You have a steep drop off with like 3 drops of water in the bottom. It's nasty. Splat slide. That's Australia. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
actually, Americans ask all the time, does the water swirl the other way, the other direction, in Australia, because it's on the other side of the earth? But the answer is the water doesn't swirl at all in Australia because there is no water in the Australian toilet.
No, that's you actually said it, Marky. You said it very
it's still a more convenient situation than like the Asian public toilets where it's a hole in the ground and a bucket.
The hole in the ground, yeah.
The 2 footprints in the hole. I encountered that in Paris in 1980. They still had those. That was Europe. That was Europe too. Archie, don't you feel that the Thailand butt gun would allow you to, like...
If only I could find a fucking plumber who would install it!
I'll walk you through how to do it yourself. And then you can just use that to sort of degrease the toilet. It's very simple.
Yeah, I think even you could do this one, Archie. You could install one of those things.
Yes.
If you can install a garden hose, you can install one of those things.
Exactly. It's that easy.
You reckon?
Yeah, I've installed them for people.
Absolutely.
You charge to do it?
Well, he'll come do it.
I did it for my mom. I only charged her $50.
I'm telling you, the Thailand butt gun leaves you feeling refreshed. Like, I don't know, if you have dirt on something, do you just like smear it around with a paper towel, or do you put water on it to like?
Well, actually, that's the interesting thing. I find with normal toilets,
Yes.
right? After you've used the butt gun, like it's different to the Japanese. They have that squirt of water, right?
Yeah, well, same thing.
A butt gun, you can really get in there and scrub it. You know what I mean? You can get in there and really give that bastard a scrubbing. You understand? Scrub that bastard. You know what I'm saying, don't you?
You have to be careful with the butt gun, because depending on the water pressure in your house, you could actually wind up violating.
I've got very low water pressure. It sucks.
Well, in my house, it's pretty high, and I have to be extremely careful with my triangulation and how hard I squeeze the trigger. Otherwise, I wind up giving myself the accidental enema. But nonetheless, you are squeaky clean. It's a full cleansing experience.
100% right, Marky.
And in fact, then when I go to a hotel, when I travel and I don't have one, I feel disgusting. I'm just like smearing in ever thinner layers. Not nice. No, I don't like it. Well, okay. I have a video on that on the Mark Goldberg channel. If any of you want to look at the Thailand butt gun in my bathroom, I show it off proudly.
Do you show how to use it and everything?
Oh, you get full disclosure, Mike.
Oh wow, very cool.
I am Marco. Yes, I am a complete expert on butt guns.
By the way, Yankee Doodle, check it out on eBay. They have a few of them. They come out of China, but those cars, those models, they're normally about 200 US. But if you hunt around, you can get them much cheaper. And this is an older model. It's not the current one, which is sort of the Bentley. If I was fucking stupid enough to actually buy one, that's what I would be buying anyhow. So I kind of works for me. So yeah, that's the way it goes. We've got a super chat here. Super chat. We got Watch Your Timing, $5. What's your opinion on the 18K yellow Turnograph Thunderbird on leather strap? Watch Reporter channel has one, and his is crisp and pristine. For starters, let me tell you, number one, I never, ever, 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 ever like a Rolex that some fuckwit has put on an aftermarket strap.
Yeah, but these are old. They're really old.
Listen to me. The ones you want to have the gold bracelet. They were very rarely sold with the strap. They look shit. The whole point of a Breguet on a strap, that's how it came. It's got the factory buckle. I can't say this. Besides Aaron Bespoke, I wouldn't actually get aftermarket straps and you really want it on the bracelet. It's so much more impressive on the bracelet. Now, the reason they're not on the bracelet is they're fucked. They're stretched to shit because they weren't that. People wore them every day. They didn't look after them like they do today. And also, they weren't as resilient. They weren't as well engineered. So what do I think of them? I think it's pathetic to put a head on a strap if that's not how it came. I like to keep it original. I like to use an OEM strap and the OEM buckle. Otherwise, it just looks shit. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, it would be better on the bracelet. But the watch head itself, the Thunderbird, is very cool with that Turnograph. I really, really like those. They were ahead of their time. I
didn't realize they had made those in gold.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had two
they did.
Also, I believe. What year were those? 60s, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving along. You skipped one.
We've got another super chat. We've got Angelic Slayer. Show Mark the video. What video is he referring to?
He's referring to my Thailand butt gun video, which I just WhatsApped you the link.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
So you've got
Let's play that. I'll get that. That's actually a great video, that. I'm just getting it up.
Get it up, big boy. Get it up.
Get it up. Get it up.
One of my favorite activities, getting it up.
Sometimes I need some stimuli. Stimuli helps.
Well, that's why you sent me those pictures of you.
Thank you, Marky. Thank you for that. That's a fucking compliment.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is. Of course.
Actually, I've actually said that to girls. I said, you know something? I've jerked off to thoughts of you. They actually like that. Who doesn't like that?
I'm sure they do. Girls are very complimented by that sort of thing.
From Mark Watches. Today we have a very special topic that has literally nothing
Very
to do with
low volume.
horology,
Can you hear it?
which is a lucky thing based on the wristwatch check you're about to see. Okay, time for the quick fistwatch check.
We can hear it,
Toilet
man.
oak, and you have no idea.
Can you hear it?
Because it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like a royal oak, but if you look away really quick, you don't realize it's a G-Shock. So I call it the toilet oak, and you have no idea how completely apropos and apt that is, because we're going into the sanctum sanctorum. We're going to talk about something that everyone who's ever been to Thailand understands, but you probably don't, and that's the butt gun. Well, guys, have a look around a standard American bathroom. The only thing that's a little unusual about this one is that the walls are painted black, just for fun. But as we, have a quick look in the shower, you'll notice that it's, again, standard American style stuff. We've got well water, so we've got a bit of rust stainage there. This is a little different. First encountered this kind of mobile shower head in Thailand, but they're real common in hotels now. And if you're in Australia, you'll be pleased to know that I'm enjoying your shampoo, which you probably never heard of. But like I said, all pretty standard stuff. But what we're here today to talk about is the butt gun, something that I first encountered in Thailand. You're seeing it right here. No, this is not a kitchen sprayer. Now look, some of you, those of you in Asia are going to be pretty familiar with what this is. Those of you who have traveled to Thailand are going to understand it. But if you're pure American with a limited travel schedule, you might think this looks like a vegetable sprayer. Now, because that's what we use them for here in this country. Now, there is a valve right attached to the water supply, which is right there. There is a valve which supplies water to this vegetable sprayer. And in fact, this valve has an on-off. Right now it's in the off position because unlike in Thailand, you don't want to keep this pressurized at all times because there is no central floor drain here. This is not a wet room. In Thailand, the entire bathroom is a wet room. Here we can find wet to the shower into the sink. Okay, anyway, back to the butt gun or vegetable sprayer. We're going to power that up now. And let's have a quick look. Now that detritus that you see down there is hard water deposits. I assure you it is nothing disgusting. Guys, that's some water pressure. Now, of course, if you so choose,
I like
you
it.
can use it to power scrub any remnants or remains.
That's what you need for your remnants.
By the way, if you're in Australia, I love your country. I love the food. I love the people, the wine. Everything is amazing. But you have a thing or two to learn from American toilets because your toilets are so steep right there. That when you make a number two, it literally hits the porcelain and slides down, and then
It hits the porcelain.
Chip it
Is this
off.
your toilet or where's this, Marky?
My
Where did you film it?
This is intended.
My bathroom
is to find your little spot.
It's clean. It's clean. I was going to say for a
So that you
Thai
don't really have to
hotel,
use
it's
that
very
stuff.
clean.
Yeah, no, that's my bathroom.
Well, getting
It's
the
no
right
longer
pressure,
black, though.
the right
Do you put
trajectory,
rubbers down the
the
toilet? If you use
kind of
rubbers,
angulation.
put them down the toilet?
all
Never
of that
use
is a bit
it.
of a
Don't use
trick.
What?
But
don't
let me
use
tell you
it.
something.
Oh, you never use them. Okay,
That stuff
fair
there
enough. Okay.
just kind of
Okay,
smears
roll
everything
back.
around.
Roll back.
Here, vaporize, total cleansing, a full cleansing experience. So it's something that you could consider. Most of the English-speaking world calls it the bum gun, but that's because you people are British. We're Americans, so we call it the butt gun, or as I like to call it, the salad sprayer. What's this for? Well, there's a little dabbing and drying that's involved. So you're down to only a couple sheets, and you might keep one of those things around for to clean up the area. Because until you get good at this, you're going to find that you accidentally spray water around. And but when you get good at it, it's like you can hit the bullseye in no time flat, rinse and go, Clean as a
Rinse
whistle.
and go. Pump and
No,
dump.
I know I usually review watches.
Actually, I had a brothel that had a blow and go special. Blow and go.
Peace out.
Come and
Thanks for
go.
sticking with me.
In and out.
Paint the sky your favorite color. Your favorite color. Paint the sky. Paint the sky.
Well, there we have it. Well, boys, thank you for paying attention to my Thailand butt gun. I still have it, but the bathroom is now painted a sky blue. It is no longer black.
I'm surprised after all these years you haven't gotten like one of those fancy toilets that has the whole thing integrated.
I tried buying this thing called the Tushy. I just could not install it. I'm not handy, so I had problems installing it. So I just returned it. And then I realized,
yeah, those things come with like heated seats and all kinds of
Holy
crap.
fuck! Yankee Doodle, $2. I literally lost the equivalent of 2 real Bentleys in the stock market this past month. Fuck me.
Yeah, thank you, President Trump. He is tanking the stock market.
What's he done wrong? What's gone wrong? Why?
Well, it's the look. I think what it is the uncertainty because of all the tariff talk. That the market does not like uncertainty, and we're like basically starting trade wars with most of our important trade partners.
It's not just that they start trade wars with it. It's that there doesn't seem to be any plan or end game. Like it's not even clear what he wants to get out of it.
All I can say is, I told you, motherfuckers. I told you, but nobody listened. That's it. It wasn't my fault. I told you.
I'm hoping he'll lose interest in this, and at least when the market takes sufficiently, we could start going in the correct direction.
And
because tariffs have an actual use and an actual purpose, but they're not like in and of themselves a good, which is how it seems to be treated at the moment.
And I know exactly what Yankee Doodle is talking about. I can't stand to look at my account, my Charles Schwab account. I can't stand to look at it this last couple weeks. It's not fun to watch it anymore. But in good news, in better news, the southern border has gotten very quiet, and that's a good thing. So it's a mixed bag right now.
Well, I think in a way he's misread. Like if he has a mandate, it's number one, economy. Number two, economy. Number three, the border.
Yeah, well, all I know is I was promised an end to the war in Ukraine on day one, and I was promised I'd be tired of winning.
But he's at least okay. I must tell you something. He's at least trying, and I got.
I voted for the guy in 3 separate elections. I like the things that he does for the most part, but he needs to be called out when he does the wrong thing.
Putin's about to tell him to get fucked, and everyone's gonna go duh.
Well, he'll release the P tape if Trump gets out of line. All I know is I want Trump to be successful because I live in this economy. So believe me, I want to wind up a fan. I'm just not there yet.
I think there's going to be a lot of pressure if things are not better economically by the fall.
Well, here we are. I don't see how.
Because the one thing about Trump is he's not an ideologic person like many of those involved in politics. So I think if the markets are bad and people are unhappy, I think he'll respond to that.
I wonder about that. Listen, I hope you're right, but I wonder, and here's why. He's not running anymore. Well, unless he decides to just stay there.
Yeah, but he's a celebrity. He wants to be loved. He wants to be liked.
I hope so. I sure hope so. Your lips to God's ears.
That's my theory anyway. Obviously, I could be wrong. And like I said, I'm happy. Yeah, I voted for the guy in, 3 primaries and 3 generals. So, but I'm still going to call him out when I think the economic policy is directionless and ineffective.
It's chaotic, and the market doesn't like it. Nobody likes it. I don't get it because it's not helping prices, which we were promised.
The only thing that I could say, and I hate to put like 4-dimensional chess on any politician, which is if you look at the valuations at the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and stuff, they're really out of whack.
We were due for a pullback. I mean, we were due for a pullback. Okay, I get it. We are not having a crash.
But there is one other thing I was going to say with that. We're also refinancing debt this year, which is a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the markets pull back, and then he shows that he's not ideologically committed to the idea that we can somehow tax ourselves to prosperity through tariffs, and all this stuff goes away, the Fed can reduce rates, we can refinance the debt, the market collects itself over the summer, and then we can continue up in the fall.
Well, that would be nice. I do not take him for a tax and spender. That I cannot hang that on him. Cannot. So let's hopefully.
Here we go. Yankee Doodle. Patel, Philippe, $5. AC3, what are the biggest difference between your favorite disciples, Mark Goldberg and Austin Daniels? Well, Austin Daniels won't come on my show for starters. The men are talking.
Remember when he and Matt Stevens had their, had their bachelor room? Austin Daniels and Matt Stevens ran away together.
I'll be right back. I need to go use my American toilet with lots of
Who
water.
is Austin Daniels? I feel like I know the name, but I can't.
He runs a YouTube channel. He's in Japan. He's an incel in Japan.
He's married with a kid. He's not an incel. He's not an incel.
Believe you me, married to a Japanese woman, he's an incel. Okay, believe you me. He's an incel. Yes, definitely. That's just proof he's an incel. Married with a kid. Fuck me dead. There's never any. He's an incel, okay?
Too funny. Austin Daniels has made like.
I'm not being funny, Mark. No. There are forums. There are YouTube. There are forums. Just Google it.
Well,
why doesn't my Japanese wife fuck me after we've had a kid?
Is this why the population in Japan is radically falling? They're not going to exist as a nation in another 20. Them in Korea. What's going on there? Nobody puts out.
Yes.
I don't know if this. I don't remember this, but Lucas P says you demanded he pay $100 to appear on your show. So I don't know. Did you try and charge Austin Daniels?
They tried to charge me.
Oh, he tried to charge you.
Yeah.
Well, that was rude. You're a celebrity.
But,
what's the fix? I mean, you read all these forums on how to get your Japanese wife to fuck you after you have a child. What are you supposed to do? What do you do? Oh, you get her a show part? That's the fix?
You buy her consumer shit.
No.
Fuck me dead. Do you want to know the answer? I'll fucking show you the answer.
I'm not entirely sure that she likes watches as much as you do.
Just little shit.
You keep saying that's for your mistress.
It is.
Well, I hope your wife does not watch this show.
Who the fuck watches my streams? I've seen the ratings lately. Nobody fucking watches my streams anymore.
You know what? See if you can get your wife to super chat. You'd have to give her the money.
Exactly.
How is she enjoying her Audi?
She loves it. Gaudi, the name of our Audi, we name our cars.
Yeah.
It's Gaudi the Audi, Humphrey the Honda. The Honda Civic is Humphrey.
I see.
Okay, but I can tell you, we haven't named the BMW, but it's definitely a female, okay?
They're all female. I named
because it's a bitch. She's a fucking bitch. Okay, sorry.
She tried to leave you. She tried to leave you, and you hunted her down and hauled her back home. Brought her back by the ear. I named my Lincoln Mary Todd, which if you're an American, you might understand. Mary Todd is my Lincoln.
Oh, what's Roy doing? Is that Roy?
Oh, he's dropped off and now he's back. Let's get him on.
Yeah, my phone doesn't like going to the car with the StreamYards.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta tell you, Marky.
How about Bernice for the Beamer?
Bernice, I love it.
Well, because Little Dave suggested Bernard, but it's a woman. So how about Bernice? Bernice the Beamer. You can call her Bernie for short, with an IE and a little heart over the I. Where are you going, Roy? Where are you headed?
Oh, I got a meeting over political issues for local stuff here.
I see. So it's a meeting of the Nazi Bund, the white supremacist group, the deep state. What? We're be specific. It's a deep state meeting. Oh, now you're in the mountains and you're breaking up.
We're trying to get the various conservative organizations together and to organize better, so they're not like duplicating efforts and stuff. So improving lines of communication and stuff.
So I was pretty close with the Antifa white supremacy group. I was pretty close.
Well, Antifa is far left, so.
Oh, who is that? I don't know. Deep state. Then there we go. The deep state. You're the vast right-wing conspiracy.
Yeah.
that Hillary.
The vast right-wing conspiracy that holds precisely 0 seats in like city council, only 2 out of 6 seats on the county commission, 0 on the school board, et cetera, et cetera. So we've been really successful.
Well, you have the whole rest of the state. You know, there's that.
Yeah, but I mean, go look at it. We're a pretty split state, and honestly, generally speaking, lean Democrat. So a lot of Californians in Nevada.
Yeah, you're more of a purple state these days.
Believe it or not, I fly east when I go to LA. So
how's that work? Oh, well, I'd have to.
Yeah, look at a globe. Yeah, I'm right on the border. Tahoe, the border of California and Nevada goes right through the middle of it, and California kind of slants down around Nevada.
That's crazy because LA's on the ocean.
Yeah,
Pacific Ocean.
I fly east. So
coast. The left coast. I remember flying to California one day, and I go somewhere for breakfast, and but it's 10 o'clock in the morning there. It's noon for me because Chicago time. And
you're hungry.
Right.
You're hungry.
I'm hungry, so I try and order lunch, and they won't serve me lunch. They're like, "Sir, you have to have breakfast." And I'm like, "Well, but I want lunch." And they're like, "Did you eat breakfast?" Like California is very weird about food and being like healthy shit. I don't know. Bizarrely,
I agree with you. California is very weird. Very weird.
I like Palm Springs, but I don't like mountains. Palm Springs, it's flat.
Yeah.
But because driving through mountains, I find that very intimidating and scary. But no wonder I lived most of my life in Illinois, which is sea level. I mean, it's like 900 feet.
Oh, yeah.
And no mountains.
No, and I don't know. You got to spend some time out at Tahoe at least once in your life, though. It's such a pretty area.
I've been to Reno. I loved Reno.
That's Tahoe,
but not Tahoe.
Yeah. Well, you were 20 minutes away. How did you not get to Tahoe?
I don't know. I was there for work and in my spare time naughtiness. There was only one gay bar in Reno, but at that time there was one gay bar, and it wasn't even a gay bar. They had like gay night, like on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a super chat.
Super chat. Patel Philippe, $2. Mark, can I get a Lou Malnotus at 8 a.m.? What's
Lou
a
Malnotus?
Lou
Malnotus. Listen.
Illuminati.
No, I think you have to wait until probably about 12 noon. But Archie, why don't you Google it? Just let's go to their website. I want you to see. I want an opinion on this.
On what? What are you guys looking at?
Lou Malnati's. So I'll spell.
Well, are you a Illuminati's or a Giordano's guy?
Well, I got Lou's like right up the street. Giordano's is okay too, but honestly, Lou's is better.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Giordano's is it's like a big chain. It's a national chain. Whereas Lou Malnati is just a few locations here in Chicago.
You have to keep in mind, I haven't lived there since 2007, so Giordano's doing what they did.
Fuck.
Well, put it up. So share
the
screen.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Wait. Share screen. Share screen.
Fuck, this is Pizza pie.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
don't
You
do
want
that. I'm trying to fit into this suit. I don't want to blow out.
It's deep
Fuck
dish.
me, dude.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Chicago
wow.
style deep dish, which most people think deep dish is a thick crust. That is not deep dish.
That's
Deep
like
dish
a-
is different.
That's correct.
More
So
like a
what they
lasagna or
what
almost.
what they do here is like if you order a sausage one, which is the classic Chicago, deep dish.
Full patty, extra fettle.
Yeah, the sausage patty is the size of the pizza, and it's on the bottom layer. So you got a big mouthful of sausage in every bite because the sausage is cut to fit the pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's crust underneath the sausage, or the sausage is the bottom?
No.
Well, and then the other thing is, Mark, like the amount of fettle used in a Chicago style pizza sausage is very important. Like you should crunch into those fennel seeds and stuff in the sausage.
I had no idea, but they're there. Listen, the other thing that I love is at Lou's, you can specify. Archie, go ahead and click one up so we can get a closer look.
I just heard Herman Ingram said he had one of these and he said they were amazing.
It's pretty fucking good. I'll tell you what.
I'm just bringing it up on the screen. Oh fuck!
It's made in a pan, and actually they need to be like specially trained to get it out of the pan because it's very heavy.
What's that one with that? There's something here Mike's honey pot pepperoni. Holy fuck!
Now,
fuck!
You can order garlic butter crust, and so what they do is before they put it into the oven, they drench it in garlic butter, so the entire crust becomes garlic bread.
What? Give me an address. Where can I search? It's
right here. I'm telling you, it's like it's 8 minutes from my house.
Chicago, Illinois. Okay, I got to put address in because it.
There you go. We'll put Chicago. But also,
which one do you? Oak Brook.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, Oak Brook.
No, Mark. When I last lived there, it was before Giordano's started like nationally chain opening restaurants, so they were still good.
I didn't even it's fucking good.
I was going to say, Uno's downtown also used to be like old Uno's still. I don't know if it's still like old Uno's or it's like all the rest of them.
Actually, I went with Vin Tinier, rodent number 3.0. I went with him to Uno's. I do like Uno's, and I like Gino's East also, but this is the close one, and honestly,
But it was only the downtown location that did it like correctly anymore when I last lived there.
I see. I understand. Well, this is and not only that, but like however many pieces of pizza you can eat of like a normal pizza, you can eat like maybe 30% of that in a deep dish because it's very tall, it's very filling. There's so much more cheese, a lot more ingredient. So if you eat 5 pieces of pizza, you're only gonna eat like 2 of these.
Yeah.
Like I order a small, and I can eat half of it. The rest of it is for another day. And you can't microwave it. You got to put it back in the oven when you want to eat it. You cannot.
Of course, don't microwave this shit. No.
It'll go soggy on you. You gotta put it in the oven, but it takes a good minute in the oven because it's very thick.
No, at a Chicago pizzeria, if you're getting deep dish, you call ahead so that they can get that thing going for you.
It's 45 to an hour. You're 100% right. You have to call ahead. When I want to pick one of these puppies up, I call ahead because it'll be an hour before I can go get it. Super chat.
Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. We got a super chat in. It's from Patel Philippe. AC3, give us your strategy for bang per buck at a buffet. Well, basically, look, what you need to do is, and I must admit, I was suckered in New York. You fucking New York cunts. Those New York cunts, they know how to fill you up. They have the most tasty bread, and it's only half-cooked bread, so it actually rises in your stomach, right?
Yeah.
Look, the best bang per buck is stay away from breads of fruits and vegetables. You want the premium squeeze. Rib-eye fillet, seafood, that's what you want, man. You want to stay away from the cheap shit. You can eat the cheap shit at home.
Speaking of bread, you know what I miss the most, Mark, is the Italian beefs.
Oh, that's right down the street too. Yeah, a nice Italian beef. We have Portillo's, like, literally, like 6 minutes away.
I like Ghirardello chocolates. Oh, fuck. Can I have a chocolate? I got to show you a new flavor I got yesterday. I got a chocolate in the fridge.
Ghirardelli. All right, go get one. Ghirardelli's.
See, in San Francisco, they have like Ghirardelli stands where you get coffee and ice cream.
I've been to that place. They have like their flagship store is there.
Old gold. It's dark chocolate.
Oh, very nice.
But it's got Bailey's.
Yeah, in the mall on Market Street.
Bailey's. Oh, fuck.
Let's have a look. Ghirardelli. I've got an entire cookie jar full of the little one, the mini ones here. Oh, that looks great. Yum. It's dripping with Bailey's. Squeeze it. It's dripping. It's like pus coming out of a wound.
Don't say that.
Oh yeah, and the one other one that you can't get anywhere else besides the Great Lakes is the fish out of Lake Superior. I miss that too.
Oh, we got Lake Michigan here. I don't know about Lake Superior.
No, you go to like Don's Dock. They get a lot of fish down from Lake Superior because there's a lot of fisheries there.
Oh, I see. Archie, I didn't think anything could spoil a chocolate for you, but I believe I figured out the one way to ruin it. Oops, I pulled Archie off the stage.
That wasn't cool, Mark. It's very for a gay man. I shouldn't need to fucking tell you that.
Let's have a close look. Well, no, don't devour it. Go slow and let's have a look. Let's see it dripping.
All right, I'll leave you guys to your essential experience here. I got to head into this meeting.
All right, Roy, enjoy your meeting and take over the world.
All right, see you guys.
Bye now. Maybe Roy's going to arrange it so they get like at least one person on the Board of Education to tell the kids that dinosaurs are fake. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. You're right there. You need a Heine lick maneuver? Are you choking? Wouldn't that be terrible if Archie choked live on air and none of us were there to help him?
Super chat. Patel Philippe, $2. Please answer 3 of Doc Reporter's comments in the chat. Bring him up, Mark.
Report. All right, let me find any. Okay, here we go. Here's one.
What's that on his forehead?
That was the first one.
Hair. I'm having a bad hair day.
Okay, that's one. That's a comment. Yep, 2.
Pizza in his mouth within 48 hours. You betcha.
Why would you wait that long? And number 3.
Canada election needed quickly.
Well, they just had one. Didn't they just select a premier, a new premier? I'm sure.
So what's happened to Trudeau? What's he doing?
He's out.
He's got retirement, hasn't he? He's got a pension for life.
Oh, I'm sure. He was the premier for a long time. Yeah, I believe so. Well,
I mean, he's laughing, isn't he, or not?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I could not.
Was he bad? I didn't mind Trudeau. Was he that bad or not?
I mean, I don't live in Canada, so I'm not qualified to comment, but apparently there was a lot of economic crisis and downturn under his reign. So he wound up.
He was a bit PC, wasn't he? I remember when he was so trendy,
Very unpopular. He's very unpopular because the cost of living in Canada skyrocketed. Housing became unaffordable. Wages have not kept pace. Now that's happening here in the United States as well, but it seems to be even more pointed in Canada from what I understand.
Yeah. They got a special key to open the bonnet.
Australia too, by the way. I keep reading how.
Oh, look at that. That's the bonnet opens up. Look.
Oh, you got an engine. Steam driven.
12 cylinders of trouble. Okay. 12 cylinders of trouble, Mark.
That's a lot of spark plugs. But people are saying cost of living in Australia is outrageous. Cost of housing is terrible. Job wages are not keeping up. Young people are leaving Australia.
And super chats are down, Marky.
The globalists.
Yes. What do you think there?
Feel like it's the globalists. You need a year's worth of food in your crawl space. Preferably dehydrated along with lots of water. Super chat.
Mobster, $5. Arch, can we hang a few undies on your wall for decor? I think it would match the tablecloth curtains. Hey, Mark! You betcha.
Hey, by the way, I'm looking at the time here, the timestamp in the upper left. Have a look. Archibald.
Hey, yes. What about it?
It's in a red box. What's the number?
2:54. It's time to end it, you're saying?
I mean, I'm just asking. You've been on the air for 3 hours. Or did
No, I haven't. I've only been on for an hour because they ran a pre.
Well, then we have to, we got to keep going. Right?
Well, we can do another half hour. We've got another super chat. Rich Mitch, $2. Why doesn't Forbin Colossus have a wrench?
He should have a wrench.
Good question.
We'll give him one. I'll give him one. Okay, that's okay.
There we go. Pavel says the tan pitches in so that Archie can duck out early. The problem is that Archie is not ducking out early. I'm the one who wants him to duck out early.
Yeah, I'm wanting to duck out early too.
Right? Well, what do you want to talk about, Arch?
Hey, I just sent a.
Hey.
The only Bentley I can afford is the model. Okay, it's pretty much the way it goes there. I'm just gonna give Forbin Colossus a wrench. Let me find him.
Little Dave says,
here he is. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have a wrench. Fuck, why not? Yeah, why not?
Nobody knows.
There we go.
Nobody knows.
And make sure Kuiper Mike Frog's got one. Yes. Okay, he's got one now. It's done.
This was hysterical. What the guys are talking about, because there was this meeting in the Oval Office that was televised, like a press conference, and Elon brought his 3-year-old kid who was totally trolling Trump. He was standing right next to the president. Elon's talking. This little kid, you could hear him on camera going, "You're not the president. Shut up, Mike." It's he just wouldn't. And Trump looked like he just wanted to rip his little face off or have the Secret Service shoot him. But, he had to pretend to not hear it. It was hysterical. That kid is never going to be in the Oval Office again. I absolutely guarantee you that.
That sounds hilarious.
It was hysterical. Look, just Google it. Elon's kid, Elon Musk's child, and Trump, and I'm sure it'll come up on
Okay,
YouTube.
we got a super. We got a Tan says, pull up the link in WhatsApp and tell me what's your favorite vid. This is from Rich Mitch. I didn't know Rich Mitch did videos these days. Look at this. This is pretty clever. This is his YouTube channel. Oh, weekly rotation. Terry de Erdemes. Oh, he does some reviews.
Everyone's doing it now.
Let's run the weekly rotation.
Welcome, friend. Today, we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 16th of March, 2025. Oh, wait. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with another fragrance rotation video. How fun. This week has been cold, and my perfumes reflect this. It's been solidly cold this week, It's not ideal. The equinox is on Friday coming, so hopefully it will start to warm up then. But until said time, I have the perfumes in my arsenal to keep me warm. And let us start Monday. On Monday, I wore this. Dior Homme 2011. This is the black stem. My bottle is from 2015. This particular one, I have others, fear not. This is perfect for when it's a little bit chillier outside. To be fair, you can wear this in all weather, I think. Maybe except the blazing heat. But apart from that, this is a wonderful perfume. This is everything that it claims to be honest. It's the Dior man for the 21st century. A wonderful, wonderful smell. A little bit powdery, a little bit clean. Lots of lavender, iris, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of leather.
Slight hint of labia.
Fresh at the top.
Ladies, yes.
Ambery.
What do you think? It's a great. He's got some good stuff.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Good stuff. Rich Mitch, look at that. He's got some really good stuff there. Does he do any watch Oh, I wanted to see he did a video on Eau de Termez. Terry Eau de Mez.
Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another first impressions video.
Terry Eau de Mez.
Sensational. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with another first impressions video. And the fragrance
I'm subscribing, Mark.
First impressioning is the new Tour de Hermes flanker, Eau de Parfum Intense. This came out, I believe, in 2025, which is what it is now. It's 2025. A long-standing line. It's 19 years old now. 2006 is when the original Eau de Toilette came out. And it is one of the great fragrances of the 21st century. It's an ISO E super bomb. But the way it's constructed, the way it's pulled off, with the orange and the flint and the sparkle, it's magnificent. Truly one of the great designer fragrances ever. It really, really is. It's got a couple of flankers already. There's Eau Givre, Eau Très Fraîche, Eau Intense Vetiver, Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum's nice. Bit thick and sticky for me, though. I've always wanted to buy it, but I never got round to it. Dirty. And now we have the latest iteration. This is made by Christine Nagel, who took over from Jean-Claude Lehner, who created the original. And I'm about to have a sniff. See what I think. Let's go, my friends. Let's go. Any blurb for us? Certainly not. No blurb at all. I wonder what the internet's got to say about a blurb. No blurb on this little card. Here's a blurb. Tour de Hermes Intense by Hermes is a fragrance, no shit, that continues the exploration of man's connection with the earth. Created by Christine Nagel, the Parfum offers
Thank you, Marky.
Of the original Tour de Hermes.
Well, we have to look into
on
you.
the personality of ingredients rather than the sheer intensity.
They want to see you.
I don't think he does bad reviews. I like him. What do you reckon?
I feel like people want to watch you watching the review. It's like it's your reaction they want.
Reaction videos.
Here we go. We got a super chat here. Watch your timing. $5. I stopped watching stream for a few months, and now you have 3 Breguets. Fuck me dead. What happened to Paddock and Pussy? Let's rebuild. Look, Paddock is expensive. And I've got a world time. I do have a world time, which I do great stuff.
Can we just talk about watch your time leaving the stream for a few months? Like, what's up with that? I think that's the story. You know what? You owe about 3 months worth of super chats. You're off to a good start. Watch your time, but you got a little catch up to do now. Breguet.
Exactly.
He went to Breguet because you pulled your support, and I couldn't afford the Patek. He had to go to Breguet. It was a step down. Is it a step down, Archie?
Yes.
It is.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Is it a big step or a little step?
Oh, look, it's different. It's different. You know what I mean? Like it's not about a step down or up. They're different. Look, I mean, the resale on Patek is better. Yeah, sure, but the actual watches themselves, I think they've got their own charm. They're not trying to be Patek. Okay, for starters, Breguet is not trying to be Patek. They make a lot fewer Breguets. They can't sell them. They make a lot fewer Breguets than Pateks. But I mean, unique things about the Breguet: coin edging. Coin edging. Look at the coin edging. They're just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful watch. Watch Reporter should get 3 of them, okay?
I do like a dive bezel on a Breguet. I like that one.
Yeah, they're a cool watch. They are cool. They're cool watches, and I love it.
Watch the time. Welcome back.
I think they're good. I think they're cool. We got Patel Philippe, $2, 52.96, 5196, or 5107. If you could only have one. Oh, no questions. 52.96. Why? It's 38 mils, automatic with date, which is also 5107, but it's 38 mils. In my opinion, I think the 5296 is the sweet spot, and I would like it, Patel, non-sector dial in white gold. There you go, non-sector in white gold. Non-sector white gold. And guys, let me get my other watch out of the safe. I am taking the Patek. I'm going to be wearing the Patek. Wearing the Patek Philippe. That is exactly what I shall be doing, Marky. And I got to tell you, the Pateks, I love Pateks, but they're just not the same value proposition as they're not the same value proposition as the Breguets. Breguet just really.
What should this one cost?
What's that?
What should this one cost?
That's a titanium one, isn't it?
No, I think it's steel. It's I don't know, man. Did they make it in titanium? Steel. It's a flyback. Also, this.
Yeah,
one.
no, they're all flyback. They're all flyback.
Oh, right.
That's
what do you
probably 7,000 or 8,000. Oh no! It's about $5 US, Marky.
That's a little bit more.
What? How much is?
Yeah, this one's about 6,300.
See, that's not terrible. That's box paid full set.
Full set.
That's not terrible full set, is it?
No, not terrible.
That's pretty good bang per buck. I'm just getting out of the safe my other watch. I am taking to Watches and Wankers. The Wankers are coming, Marky.
I believe this one's yours.
How much?
Well, you first of all, let's look and see if it's yours.
1 minute. I'm halfway through turning the safe, Marky.
All right, keep going. Don't let us watch.
I got it wrong.
Nobody's going to listen to the
Bring it up. That's it. That's mine. Yes, that's mine.
How about, let me see if it's box papers, 12.5, American.
That's not bad, is it?
No. What'd you pay?
I paid $8, but I'm wholesale. You understand? I get deals that you
You're
guys
special.
don't.
You're special.
I got a cock. I got a 10-inch cock, Marky.
The only problem is where you have it.
The gun takes 8 inches of that away.
It's not in the usual place. If you follow me.
It's an internal. So what I'm taking to the show.
We got some super chats here, by the way, that we got to talk about.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. What do we got here? Super chat. Let's get
Here's your next one. There it is.
Watch your timing, $2. Gold sub prices. Gold subs drop in price.
Yeah.
Time to have one. Look, okay, they have. Look, like everything. It's not because gold subs are bad. It's because the whole market has collapsed. It's like the share market. You pick one stock and say, "Oh, the market's down. That stock's shit." No. It's the whole market is down, fatso.
You can get the 40 millimeter, the previous version, gold, full gold blue sub for, I don't know, probably 30, 31. Yeah, you should be able to get that. It's a great price. It's got a gold bracelet. It's a huge chunk of gold, and the price of gold is up. And actually,
I'm just starting this is what I'm taking to watches and wankers, wristwatch wankers and watches. I'm going to take that.
Paddock, World Time.
Now, actually, Marky, this watch here, I got to be honest with you, I nearly swapped it. Can I tell you the story?
Tell us.
Yeah, I was offered a straight swap. Okay, so mine is basically white gold, box, no papers. And I was offered a straight swap. Listen to me.
Yes.
A naked solid gold bluesy, 40 mil.
I don't know what your paddock is worth, so I don't know if it should be that plus money, or I don't know. I don't know if you should be getting a little money too.
Actually, I think they wanted me to put a little bit in. Sorry.
No. It should be.
They wanted $2 US. Sorry, they wanted $2 US.
Nah.
Naked meaning no bracelet?
No, naked meaning
naked no box or papers.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
No,
I mean, without the bracelet, it's worth thousands less. Without the bracelet, it's kind of fucked.
I mean, straight swap, okay.
That's why I was wondering.
Straight swap, but I feel
Look, I didn't do it, not because of the money. It's just that I really love my world time.
You do.
You know what I mean?
But how would you feel with a half a pound of Rolex
I know. I've been there before, Mark. I've been there.
Yeah, but you had hollow center links, so it wasn't a half a pound. It was like a quarter pound.
Actually, I think it had the solid ones, but they were not screw links. They had to be belted in. That was really stupid system.
Because when you get the quarter pounder at McDonald's, it's a lot better than just a plain cheeseburger. It's meatier. It's heftier.
Is that for the upper middle class? They order quarter pounder.
Is that what they do? I don't know.
That's the upper middle. Men who drive black Buicks order that shit.
I feel like I don't really go to McDonald's very often at all, but it's gotten expensive.
I haven't been to McDonald's in years, and I don't really want to go. To be,
you know what?
Totally.
Looking at your suit size, comes as a bit of a surprise.
McDonald's has gotten expensive.
And then you had me when you wanted my spank bank photos. You had me before. We got a super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat. We got a super chat here. This is from Patel Philippe, $5. AC3, what value proposition are you speaking about? Isn't your break state a Cam's chrono fuckface?
Fake face.
No. Yes, it is.
Is it?
It is a Cam's chrono.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But it's a Lamania movement. You check out, Patel, what Pateks are the most valuable. They're all Lamania movements.
Like the Daytona?
No, the Daytona, actually, it's the Valjoux ones. Doc's ones are all Valjoux 727 movements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those are like 4 digits.
Yeah.
They're ancient.
The other ones are
they weren't
Zenith movements. They were Zenith movements. I think the modern Daytona were actually, the Zenith is a column wheel. All the 5-digit Daytonas are column wheel, Marky.
Gotcha. So you can run them. I don't know. I feel like you would really enjoy that full gold bracelet, though.
No, I want to get one, but Marky, the money hasn't been very good at the moment. I don't know if you understand what sort of state we're in.
We need to do a strategic swap.
Yeah,
okay,
but I love the world time. I mean, if I got rid of it, I'd never get another one again. I need one paddock.
This is your second one. You'll get another one. Listen, we'll get more money if we actually read the super chats that we do get. So, super chat.
Yeah, super chat. Where have you been? We got one here. Patel Philippe, $5.
Look, read the one that's
sorry. Love you. Watch your timing, $2. Love that paddock. You're the reason I want the world time. Thank you. Watch your timing. Thank you so much.
Well, I told you to make it up to us, and here you are. You are. Thank you, sir. Super chat.
This is nasty. This is just plain nasty. You know that?
He's mean. He's vicious. He's vinyl. He's nasty. But he is giving you money at the same time. So we should read it.
Yes, of course. But those paddocks, Lamanias are column wheel lateral clutch. I'm not sure if they're lateral clutch. Breguet is a Phoenix brand and should be tossed in the bin. That's so awful.
I gotta say, Patel is not a fan of the Phoenix brand watch, and I don't know why. Jim
now,
is.
Speaking of which, Marky, we've got to wrap this baby up.
Well, you can't wrap it up till you read this super chat.
What's your timing, $2? World time and gold sub is ARCHIELUXURY. Period. Yeah.
So right. But if you had a 2-watch collection, that would be great. That would be it. Get rid of all of it.
Agreed.
Let the Phoenix brand burn again.
Let the Phoenix brand burn, baby, burn.
Well, you get to keep one Breguet. You'd have to keep, because you need a 3-watch collection. Gold sub, paddock world time, pick, I don't know. You want the Type 20 or you want the Traditional? Which one of those two are you keeping?
So say the 3 again.
Well, you get the full gold bluesy.
Yeah.
You keep your world time.
Yeah.
And you keep one Breguet. I'm guessing you keep the Type 21 because the Traditional you get more money for if you sold it.
Yeah.
So that'd be the one. You'd keep that one right. Show it up.
Hockey puck.
Yeah.
Hockey puck.
Coined edging. It's beautiful. Look at that.
And it's even between the lugs, it's got coined edging.
Who cares if it has a cam? Double cam driven, like a Valjoux 750. That's okay. It's a workhorse.
It's Lamani. It's not actually a 775.
I know, but the 7750 is also cam driven. Tell me, when you shake it, can you hear the rotor going? Zzz?
Yeah, a little bit.
I know you can't, but that's all right. That doesn't bother me.
No.
That'd be an amazing collection. Those 3.
No. I totally look. I just at the moment, it's not the time to start. The market is very flat, and on the other side, income is very shit. So
that's why you're going to sell off the Zenith, the JLC, the 2 of the 3 Breguets. You're going to sell the Explorer 2. You're the Speedy I'll let you keep, but
that was a gift. I can't sell it.
I know. Hey, well, what happened to the Sky Dweller that was a gift?
That was stolen in the burglary.
All right. Okay. So
that's a bit of a sore point. Thanks for reminding me, Mark.
I thought you sold it. Okay, so you can have a 4-watch.
No. That was, I would never sell it. Mark, I would never sell it. And it's unfortunate what happened.
Of course. Anyway, that's my idea for your new collection.
But hey, what can you fucking do? You know, Mark, what do you do, man?
Well, no, you got to move on. And you have. But insurance, new safe, burglar alarm.
I've actually got
cameras.
everything at the moment. I've only got 3 watches out. I got the show pod. I've got the paddock, and I got the Breguet.
I don't think we can't really count the show part. That would be no big loss. That'd be all right. That's the
now
one.
Let's thank our people. Remember to upvote. Let's go through the list. Frank V, Frank V, Muhammad Ali, Ryan Jeffery, Rich Mitch. By the way, check out Rich Mitch's YouTube channel. We've got Watch Nerd Mike, Nick, Watch Nerd Nick, Burbing Hard, Patel Philippe, Yankee Doodle, Kuiper Mite Frog, Marco 131, Yankee Doodle. Watch Your Timing, Angelic Slayer, Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. Patel Philippe, Mobster, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Watch Your Timing, 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 Watch Your Timing, Patel Philippe.
Wait, you can't leave. And that is because
AC3.
That one is new.
What's your timing? Your gold sub provided so much good content, worth it for your business. Yeah, no, I get it. I am going to sell a few things off to get it. Yes, I will. I will do that, Marky. Nice. I'm going to sell the Bluesy.
Yes. Yeah, that goes. The Explorer 2, the Zenith, the Traditional, and the JLC.
Okay. Bluesy, Explorer 2, Zenith.
JLC.
I love the JLC.
Well, I love it too, but something's got to. Oh, I know, the Traditional. Keep the JLC. Sell the Traditional.
Thank you, Marky. We got another super chat here from Patel Philippe.
We do.
Wasn't the JLC a gift?
No, I bought that. Patel Philippe, $5. AC3, give us your Rolex predictions for Razzle Dazzle Basil Beazle World. And no, not sarcastic. It's a Coke, yeah. I reckon they're going to bring out Explorer 2 in two-tone.
Oh, Jesus.
I think they're going to bring out those same thing they did with the colors. They're going to do them in the Datejust.
Oh, wait. Whoa. Wait. What colors?
And I can see them having a day date in steel and gold.
Oh, that's
there you go. There you go, guys. That is the show. That is the time that we love you. And I will be back tomorrow, guys. We love you. See you later. Oh, I didn't press the button. The button.
Archie Luxury jumps on a Boeing jet, leaves behind the family, no regrets. He's got a birthday, I'm your old Shanghai. Eyes are on Mrs. Lai, the reason why. While in Brisbane, the tears roll strong. Chinese whispers called him to Hong Kong. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave behind the begging for the Luxy show. Archie flies where the dragon soared to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Archie's chasing dreams in the mystic land. Mrs. Lai brings coffee to his hand. Family's calls echo on the phone. He's miles away, lost, but he's not alone. In old Shenzhen's glow, he likes to stray. With Mrs. Lai, they bonk till the light of day. Pack up your bags and off you go. He's not showing up to New York Watch Show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Though the tears roll down in Brisbane town, Archie's 3-inch dick flops all around. Celebrations in the neon night, forgetting home, he's chasing new Asian delights. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave the begging for the beach ball show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Weeks later, Archie leaves his playground, comes back home, he's Brisbane bound. comes up with stories that he's going bust, has to fool the punters to gain their trust. Pack up your bags and off you go, leave the begging for the beach ball show. Archie flies where the dragon soars, the romance misses lie until his balls are sore. Archie spent the punter's money, he's in a fix, spins a story that he can't eat bricks. All the lonely simps believe his scam, grab all their cash, shove it in his hand. Pack up your bags and off you go, he didn't bother with the New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragon soars, the romance misses lie until his balls are sore. Comes on streams, he cries poor again, his mate 10 gives him $5 grand, maybe 10. Archie thinks he's a big swing dick, cause the punters fall for his gypsy shtick. Pack up your bags and off you go, didn't bother with the New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragon soars, the romance misses lie until his balls